Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Let's go, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios every Wednesday night,
like
though.
you're in a different zip
I don't
code.
like sitting over here.
I know,
I don't know what
it.
to do with my
I get
goddamn
it, I get
hands.
it,
I don't know what to do with anything. But we're live from the Real Talk Studios every Wednesday night. We are brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make him yours. Find on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Robbie Pove on the ones and twos. Greg Milwaukee not with us tonight. And we don't have a spot for Dan because Dan hasn't been here. I don't know. Danny, was a semi-figure here for a minute, and we haven't seen Danny in a minute.
Well, we're going old school tonight. That's all right, though.
Faces come and faces go.
This is the 3-year anniversary show.
It is.
Of AM and the PM. So throughout the show, later on in the show as well, some of your favorite memories, moments. It might be me not being here. It might be Mike not being here. It might not be both of us. Maybe you're like, you know what? Some of my best memories were Wednesdays at 9 when I wasn't watching. Yeah, it could very well be. And that's fine. And that's fine if that's what it is.
When these two jabros weren't taking up my computer screen.
But we'll tease you with one thing. We were in deep in the city of Camden covering.
Literally 2 weeks into the existence of the show, by the way.
Yeah, like this
so
came
this was
hot.
like 3 years ago.
And we were deep
Yeah.
with like a pickup charity basketball game with the people, family. You know what I mean? But it was one some moment could come from that game alone.
Outdoors on a Saturday afternoon in like 90-degree heat.
And it was a great time.
It was a great
one of the
time.
best basketball games I've ever called in my life. That was better than any game we covered for the station early on when it was 18 when we did a little ATD high school sports action. It was better than any of that. So that'll be on later on in the show. We'll talk of that. Eagles positional battles or concerns. All right. Most writers, us, everybody, thinks the top 3-5 roster
Easily,
in the NFL.
yeah.
Easily. We'll talk a little of that. Carson as well. And what jobs are up for grabs? Jobs maybe that you need an upgrade, maybe be a little deeper at. We'll get on all that later on the show. But Gabe Kapler, like him or not, he's at 100.
It's the Kapler 100.
I feel like it could be a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
Like a little small track, something quick and cute.
Around
to
the
get
block.
through.
Yeah, around the block on your Huffy 100 times. Let's go.
He would, too. I can see that being a charity event. Nobody has time for that. Well, maybe we'll cover that one day.
There you go.
That could be another moment / memory. Kapler 100 and the Phils 10. Well, they're 12 games over
12
right
over now, yeah.
And they have a chance no matter what. They're guaranteed to be at least 10 games over.
Well,
at minimum.
Yeah, going
Before today. Before two.
Should we say the show outline was completed prior to the conclusion
of last
night / this morning's marathon?
So easily. So 12.
Yeah.
So 12 games.
Yeah, if they would have lost last night and again today, they still would have been guaranteed 10 games over.
Look at the improvement.
And now he's 12 games over.
And look at the improvement.
Oh, yeah.
And listen, and we'll talk about this more on, but as much as I despise things Kapler does, you do. I know one Mr. Brian Wilson does. There's a lot of people out there that do. One thing I'll say he does really well, he gives his players a ton of confidence. He really does. I mean, that's the one thing that I can hang my hat on that I believe he does extremely well. Okay, because not only, you need players to play well, but these are young kids. and a lot of them, and be getting a lot out of some of them, and some not so much. But I still believe he keeps his confidence in guys, and that's the only reason that I can point to be like, this is why he's been successful as a manager so far, 100 games in,
Absolutely.
or 102.
Yeah.
Sorry, 102 games in. That's why he's been successful, to my opinion, and we'll talk about it later on. But mainly a little trade deadline right around the block. And it ties right into our poll question, brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find it on the web, scanzanosports.com. Which left-handed pitcher would you like to see the Phillies acquire at the MLB Trade Deadline? Cole Hamels, J.A. Happ, Blake Snell, who is on the DL, or other. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. We'll read off your questions, comments, concerns, everything.
I think it's crazy how 3 years ago when we did our first show, the main topic of the show was Cole Hamels is on the trading block, and what could you get for him? And you and I sat there and more or less dissected the Texas Rangers farm system trying to figure out, who we wanted to get for Hamels, because I think at that point it was a foregone conclusion that Texas was the front runner. And, he goes out like 2 days later, throws a no-hitter. It's his last start in a Phillies uniform. And now here we are 3 years later talking about possibly reacquiring him. It's pretty wild.
It's weird how all that went down, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember talking about guys we wanted. We really wanted Mazzara.
Yeah.
We really didn't want Gallo too much. I mean, I know I didn't want Gallo as much, but we wanted Williams. We wanted Mazzara.
Yeah. And I think, we wound up with – I think we were all in on Jake Thompson. None of us really were all that keen on Eichhoff, and that kind of flipped for us a little bit. Now they're both a little dicey, but – you still have your starting right fielder and your starting catcher out of the deal.
It's a win.
Yeah.
It's a big-time win because most of the time you might get one that ends up being a player.
We got people chiming in already?
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
David Roska was saying hello.
Hey, David.
What up, Dave? Mike Parker says, I'm going to shotgun every time Tom gets fired up. Let's go. I said, well, you could be drinking all night.
You could be.
You could be having a lot or maybe a little. David Roska says, what's up, boys? My Rams, this year's Super Bowl champs. Well, I won't strongly disagree, but I'll disagree with that one. What else we got? You got people on the tube, too?
I'm getting there. I'm still sharing away here.
Brian Daly, what's up?
It's hard to do this shit with two people.
You got a lot of moving parts.
Like we're a bunch of amateurs here now,
First time.
Yeah.
Mike Park says, what's up, Pove? Pove, what up? Brian Daly, what's up, fellas? What up, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
Mike Parker, who are these jabrones on the couch? I don't know. I don't even know who the hell we are. He said he's coming in hot. He wants to know where James is. Nobody knows where James is. Dion Brown, what up, Dion? Says, what's up, fellas? I'm back at it. Poll question. I wouldn't mind seeing J. Happ in Phillies red and white. No problem with that. And I don't either. I'm not going to answer the part of the poll, but just keep in mind that we're going to owe Cole Hamels $20 million next year. We pay him his contract anyway. So it's something to think about. Mike Parker, you missed the live for the Canadian Open, the one Canadian tournament of the year. The one Canadian tournament of the year, James, and you came up small. He said, eating pizza 6 slices a minute. You know the rules. Stephanie Hoover, James is asleep, collecting disability like a champ. That's classic. All right, then they're talking pizza. Dion Brown says, I still think they may have to make a move by the deadline. And you know what? I don't disagree.
First off, I want to know what Dion is drinking tonight because, Dion, that's a must. And, of course, it just flashes on my MLB at-bat app. Yankees in hot pursuit of Rangers Cole Hamels.
Yankees in hot pursuit.
Yeah. As if Nathan Eovaldi, it's like the counterpunch to Eovaldi going to the Red Sox.
And obviously that's one of the teams he doesn't have a no trade to.
Correct.
I would assume. You know what? For them, I think they're going to come out with the deal. If you want me to be honest with you.
And that's fine.
In that sweepstakes, because they would give up more to get them because of their starting pitching. That's a team that desperately needs starters. Unlike us, we're not a desperate need for nobody.
Right.
But it'd be good to have a lefty in the rotation. It's not going to hurt anything to get a lefty in our rotation.
And I'll be honest with you, if I'm answering the poll question,
well, please do.
I'm actually seriously talking to Tampa Bay about Snell, and I want to find out what exactly they want for him, because you'd control Snell for 2 years, I believe. And I wouldn't have a problem taking control of that contract for 2 years. So for me, I'm going Snell. From Snell, I'm going Happ, because Happ is a rental, and if he performs well, you can re-sign him. If not, you have the option to let him go. I'm just afraid that if Cole comes back here, it's going to be like this fan base just takes the weight of the world and drops it onto his shoulders. And if he doesn't perform right out of the gate, like, it just falls off a cliff
we know how it goes
in a
here.
big hurry.
We know how it goes here. You know what? I'm on the same wagon you're on because, one, it's a younger guy. I can keep control of him. And two, okay, I understand it's the AL, but Cole's gotten hit around. He hasn't made it look good on himself at all.
He has not looked good at all
recently. So, to me, like you said, I understand his run average, everything will look better in the NL. And maybe a change of scenery, again, creates that. But maybe coming back here is more of a little book tour, more so than, hey, we're in a pennant race.
Right.
So, and I also believe the Yankees will give you more for a starter right now.
Right.
And I don't believe they're going to get two guys from their division. You know what I mean? They already got Britton from the O's, which is a crumb move by the O's. Like, that's crummish. Both of you just crumbs. Shouldn't even pick up phones in teams of your division. There's one beer, Parker. One down. Shotgun. Okay? Shouldn't even pick up phones from teams in your division.
Well,
two, I can't see it again.
Now you just shot my shit, though, because we're talking about other potential deadline moves, and I'm like, can we call the Mets? Can we get a Struble Cabrera?
I don't mind that one either. Way more than I want Curtis Granderson even mentioned.
Yeah,
don't even mention Curtis Granderson.
But by your theory, the Mets aren't allowed to answer the phone because we're in the same
Yeah, I think it's crump talk.
I don't disagree with you, but stranger things have happened.
But more for
that's how we got Lenny Dykstra.
I understand it happens, and it happened there, and it could happen again where
it could happen to you.
It could happen again with Snell, or even what happened when you're talking about the Yankees. But to me, I believe if Matt Quintek picks up the phone, he can get Snell yesterday.
Yeah.
And I believe the DL stint is more of just a tired shoulder.
Well, and
which is convenient.
Here's the thing,
around
though.
the deadline anyway to me.
What they could do, because you can't trade someone who's on the DL, you could activate him from the DL, trade him, have the Phillies basically give him a physical and say, okay, he's either ready to go or he's not, but we're not going to contest the trade. We're just going to put him on the DL here. Okay, no problem. Give him an extra week. Activate him. Bing, bang, boom. Away we go. I'll take it.
Done. I mean,
done and done.
My problem is in this rotation on why I believe we need another starter is Nick Pivetta.
Yeah, inconsistent.
I can't trust that. And with a team that's hit, okay, they've hit well, and they can hit well at times, but overall hasn't hit consistently, and we've got it done by pitching, I need another arm that can get it done in this rotation. And between all of them, Snell's got it done the best this year. Hap's good. That would be my second, and it's switched. And because I was going to go Cole because of the $20 million, because you're already paying them, but we're big market, so that's pennies to me because of the struggles.
Right.
Because if you want to get out of somewhere, as much as I love Cole, if you're trying to get out of somewhere and you want to go to a contender, the easiest way to do that is pitch yourself out of somewhere.
Right.
It really is when you're talking about you're on a bad baseball team right now. So that's how I look at that. Gina Rambo's in the house.
Hey, Gina.
What's up, Gina? Mike Parker says Snell, Hap, Cole in that order.
Pretty much the same order as we are right now, yeah.
David Roska talking Donald needs to be signed by the Rams. I think everybody agrees on that.
No question.
I mean, him, Fletcher Cox.
1A and 1B.
1A, 1B.
Yep.
Deion Brown says I'm 6 packs in on Philly's own Yards Brewery Brawler.
Oh,
cheers!
That's a
cheers,
Deion.
Nice.
Yards Brawler for the anniversary show. Good choice. I like it.
Yeah, look at him. He knows. He knows. It's like he was in part of the criteria last night. Was he in the email? Were you in the email, Deion? Sort of smells like you're in the email a little bit.
I got it right here.
Rob was. He was? Okay, confirm.
On the YouTube chat, ASMR, me of everything. What's up, boys?
What's up?
Phils are 13 over, and looks like they want Archer or Hamels. And, yeah, the Archer thing.
I'm all in.
Archer thing kind of came from out of nowhere, and I'd be all in on that, too.
Well, what do we say, Robbie? Was it me, you, Greg talking later on after last Wednesday's show, and we were talking about, you really want to go? You want to put yourself and go win a World Series? And this was with the Machado situation, but you go get Manny. No, this was after. This was after Machado went to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But it was go get Archer, go get a lefty, and go get Britton or a back end of the guy to help Dominguez out. That's all. Yeah. Not to be your closer, but you need a setup guy. I need somebody a little more stable than what I have here. Just somebody a little bit more of a vet that's been around it a little bit more. That's what I'm looking for at this time of year. The more vets I can bring in, with a little bit of pedigree or a little bit of success, which you have in Santana, you have in Arrieta, if I can get another one out the back end of my pen for my kids back there, I think that's a huge upgrade for this entire team.
No question.
Because now you're talking about every part of your roster essentially has a vet that's played postseason baseball that's just been there and can still do it and still get it done.
Yeah.
You put Archer in the NL, and more importantly, you get him out of the AL East. 3.75 ERA. That's what his ERA will dip down to. There's no doubt about it. He's still kept the strikeouts out, but it's been the ERA and WHIP that's been elevated. So you might even get a decent price on him right now. If you're the Rays, you got to hold on to Snell. He's a young pup to build around. That would be so. I would look to move Archer, but I don't know. They said everybody's on deck, right?
They basically said for the right price, their entire roster is available.
It should be.
They're not going to give them away for peanuts.
But baby markets are always open when they're struggling.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they're always open for business to everybody. Now, Archer's been open for business with them for a minute now, and they haven't been able to get a deal done with them, which could be them wanting a little bit too much because he comes up every year around this time when they're struggling, and he's not on the DL.
And I'll tell you what, Archer's start on Saturday was filthy.
That's a guy wanting to say, hey, I want to help you get me out.
It's
you
like,
know what I mean?
it's
Let
like
me help you help me.
The trade deadline's coming out. I'm going to go out here and strike out 12 on Saturday afternoon. Thank you very much.
He's that type of pitcher.
Listen, I'm all in on Archer, and I'm all in on Archer where which one you want? Medina? Sixto. Which one you want? Because I'm pick one.
For Archer, you might
Pick one.
You might get Sixto out of me for Archer.
Yeah, pick one because that guy now is my third pitcher in playoff baseball, which you need. You know what I mean? Now you got three. Think about the three arms you have now with Nola, who we all talk about as the top 5 arm in baseball. Throws wiffle balls around. You know what I mean? Nola, Arrieta, who's been there, which matters. Okay, not the most as dominant as he was.
I want experience
before, but he's still experienced.
Yeah.
And now you had Archer there.
Yeah.
That's a problem in the NL. That's a problem for a lot of teams. I wouldn't want to face that rotation in the playoffs. Absolutely not.
No doubt about it. When Archer is on, his slider is equal to Chris Sale's, just from the opposite side.
Oh, I agree.
He's on, that slider is filth.
I agree.
Straight filth.
Tyler Coffin says Adam Jones, baby.
Well, it's
and
funny
Cole.
because
Make those two moves happen.
Yeah.
I'm a happy man.
ASM Army of Everything dropped it out there as well. He said, I'll take Adam Jones and Archer. And Adam Jones was a name that just surfaced this afternoon that I think.
We're back in talks.
Yeah, I think most teams knew that he was available, but I think for the Orioles it was we need to move Machado, we need to move Britton, and then we'll start discussing Adam Jones. Did I expect the Phillies to be players on Adam Jones? No, but am I upset about it? Oh, hell no. I'll take Adam Jones and I'll play him one day in left field, one day in center field, one day in right field, and then if one of my guys gets hurt or is slumping a little bit, maybe Jones gets an extra day, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm doing though is I'm keeping him sharp for the postseason because when I need that right-handed bat off the bench in the postseason, that's going to be my guy.
Tyler, we both agree. I'm all in on Adam Jones too, but
not giving up the farm for that one.
Yeah, but not as much Cole as Archer. And what Greg just chimed in is said, "What up, Greg?" He goes, 4 years of control with Archer too.
Is that our problem?
So that's our problem.
Our problem.
He's not here. He's really somewhere else. 4 years of control with Archer too. Same package as Manny, and I agree. I'm getting the same package because of the control. I got him for 4 years. I got top of the line rotation guy.
4 years of control. Yeah, same package as you offered for Manny, no question.
Andrew Burke said, "I need a job. We'll work for peanuts." And I said, "Oh, well, you come here, Andrew." Sorry, they're talking Bruce. A lot of brew talk.
Nothing wrong with
no,
brew
absolutely
talk.
not. And then Stephanie Hoover tells them they're all drinking piss.
Yeah. F Team says, "What's good, boss?" And TTP Ballin says, "Ew."
Well, I had another one. Where was it? Brian Dale. Yep. What about Nick? I can never say his name. Castellanos. Yep.
Yeah.
I heard his name a bit, and I was very intrigued. I'm intrigued because he can play an outfield spot.
Castellanos.
Yeah, but I don't even need him there.
Right,
No,
but here's the thing.
Right now. Can't believe I'm saying it.
Castellanos can rake, but you might as well put a brick on his hand because he can't catch the ball at third base and he can't catch the ball in the outfield.
No, yeah. I'm not.
Is he
He
more
hit.
defensively?
Oh, he is a big-time defensive liability.
Tyler says,
But he'll hit the shit out of the ball for you for sure.
Oh, he will. He will. But you know what? I don't. To me, I'm good with an Adam Jones pickup and a guy like that. I don't.
He adds defense.
At this
too.
point, I don't need to go too deep. I just need another outfield bat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's productive, has some pedigree, and is from everybody you talk to, a great goddamn teammate in Adam Jones. Yeah, great teammate, great guy, and they're the kind of guys you want to fill around these puppies, right? Like, I was all in on Manny, but I also told you guys before that there's some rumblings around, the clubhouse in Baltimore that, little selfish-ish.
A little bit.
And that's fine because the top 5 player in baseball, I'll trade for all day. Yeah. But, same reason, a reason I don't want Bryce Harper. So if I can surround these kids with some guys who work hard and stuff like that and are talented still at this point in their career, that's a plus.
See, and I hear what you're saying, and I'm right there with you. I'm actually would go out on a limb here and say, the idea of Hap, Archer, love the idea of both of them. And if they could make it happen, I'd absolutely do it. I would go to the postseason with the rotation and the bullpen as it is right now if I could upgrade my bats in the infield and the outfield.
Well, if I could get myself a better shortstop.
And I was going to say, specifically, I'm looking to upgrade at shortstop. I'm looking for either Asdrubal Cabrera or Escobar from Minnesota.
From KC, right? From the Royals?
Yeah. From
the Royals, right? Alcides?
I don't know if it's Alcides. It's the.
It's another.
I'm thinking.
I'm not saying there's not another Escobar because we know that's not. We know that's a goddamn lie, Tom.
But Robbie, do me a favor.
Yes.
Minnesota, give me their infield when you have.
Oh, you're talking about Jorge Polanco.
I was jumping you one bigger.
No, I could be wrong.
Can I make a call to the Texas Rangers?
Who do you want?
Since I'm already calling them.
You want Profar?
No.
Who do you want?
Can I get Elvis?
I don't think they're going to trade Elvis. You can call. You can call.
I
got no problem with you calling.
Can I back a Brink up? Back a Brink up on prospects and make that phone call? Because I love Scotty.
He's not a shortstop.
I got no problem with him, but he's not a major league shortstop. Can we just stop it with your analytics telling you that he is? He isn't. There's one right down in Texas. You can offer the same package you offered for Manny, and you get yourself a top-of-the-line shortstop in this league, again, who's played in big-time games.
Yes, yeah.
And it's still – find out his age when you're done with that, Rob. We got a ton of work for you tonight.
Who's the guy I'm thinking of?
A ton of work.
I was right. Jorge Polanco, he just came back from the 80-game suspension, so maybe Minnesota may want to cut ties, get him a fresh start somewhere else.
Who have they been playing at shortstop?
Before that?
Yeah, before that. If you could, please, that'd be great.
Oh, you think they're going to trade that guy now that they got Polanco
I think so,
back?
yeah.
I got you.
Alcides Escobar is a great name, and I have no issue with it. I'm him, Asdrubal Cabrera. I need somebody that can play serviceable shortstop at the major league level that's going to hit more than 235. Because, great, Scotty Launchango hit a home run today. Wonderful. He's still 0-2. He's up there 0-2 every single at-bat. And he's got such a loop in his swing right now.
Big time.
They sent Altair back to work shit out. I'd have no issue with them. Eduardo Escobar, thank you.
Yeah, Eduardo. Greg just said the same thing.
Yeah.
Check me
Elvis
Andrus age, because when you're about to say this, if he's the age I think he is, I might got a great deal for you. And a great deal for Texas.
29.
It's on the cusp.
Shit.
You wanted him to be like 27, didn't you?
I was 28 would have did it too. I don't know why the year would have did it for me.
He was in the Ronnie Washington days.
Because I would almost.
Well,
I would almost trade Scotty in that deal.
Is she 20 or is she 21? Because a year means a lot.
It means a ton.
Fabulous comment.
You going to the bar or you go to the movies?
And Greg's on fire. He says that was 29. Listen.
It's like he's on the show, but he's not here.
Call me crazy.
Keep him coming, Greggy.
Call me crazy. But and the reason I say this is because of money and protection for not a small market, but a team that would want something like that. You could put Kingery in that deal to go get Elvis Andrus. You could. You know what I mean? Because it's cheap money for them, and it's a guy who can play right away for them. They don't have to wait for him in their eyes, and then I'll save you from some of your top guys that maybe you don't want to get rid of. It would.
Like a Cesar.
Yeah.
Or a JP.
If you're the Rangers, you're smart with that deal, too. You put Kingery down in Arlington in that heat, it's nice. You know, he can develop.
Yeah, let him
nice
launch
player.
there. Let him launch around there.
Well,
and play consistently.
No, I'm just saying if you're looking for a shortstop, I'm just trying to get
right,
creative.
But see, here's
and
the thing with them, though.
I got you.
They could do that, and what they could easily do is they could just take Jerks and Profar and put him right back in his natural position, which is shortstop to begin with.
Yep.
And Kingery then becomes their super sub, who plays a little second, a little short, a little third, a little left, a little right. Maybe he DHs, works the kinks out of his swing.
Or maybe he goes back to his natural position and just play second base every day for him.
Oh, they got Rougned Odor.
Yeah.
Odor could DH, though. I mean,
eventually shortstop slide Profar over to third to take over for an aging Beltre.
Yeah,
Okay,
although I have a feeling that they're going to give Joey Gallo another shot there. I think they're just kind of biding time on that one.
Yeah, I'm not a Gallo guy.
Although,
that's why I didn't want him in the initial Cole deal. That's why we wanted Mazzaro, Williams.
Tell you what, though. Did you see the third baseman's hose that he's got playing right field? 273 feet on the fly. Got him.
I know we've gotten away, and we've won. We're 12 games over 500, and we've done that with, Kingery playing shortstop. But I just believe you went up the middle. And for me to be able to go get a 29-year-old guy who's played in big games, who's productive is all, right? You know what I mean? Comes up with big hits and is a leader, obviously, of a baseball team.
Indispensable.
I got him for what? You could say an easy, the way baseball is nowadays, a prime more. So I got him for at least 4 or 5 years where I still believe he can be on his upside, right? Can we agree there?
Yeah.
Can we agree there? So is that worth it? When if you look at it like this, I'm not giving you my shortstop. At all this funny stuff that just happened, I didn't even give you Crawford. Yeah. I swung it around and gave you Kingery because the deal's so nice. I mean, I know Crawford's got his protection and all that,
right,
but that deal's pretty for Scotty, for a team to take on.
Right. I was going to say, when you're giving up a player that's got that much team control, you better be getting value back. And this is what's funny. F. Deems says,
what up, Deems?
He says, can Kingery play third? I'm putting something nice in the deal for Texas. So I guess that's what he means is to motivate Texas to do the deal. He's going to give him
Elvis, right?
Yeah, going to give him Kingery.
Yeah. Now Elvis was on the DL for a long time this year. I mean, for a substantial amount of time. I don't want to say a long time, but at least like 30 games. It had to be. So I have no concern with that. You know what I mean? He's healthy. He's ready to go. He's playing now.
The last one was a hand injury, no?
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, so it's not his legs. If it's not his legs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's up heels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, is it?
No. I'm saying that if it was hand, it's up heels.
Yeah, absolutely.
You also got to wonder with some of these guys, like Elvis, like Snell, whatever. If their teams were independent race, would they be on the DL or would they be out there playing?
Would they be fighting through it? Yeah.
Are you hurt or are you injured? Because if you're hurt, you can play through it. If you're injured, you can't.
Agreed. Thicky Don says Wilson's biggest fraud since Nandi.
That sounds like a porn name. Thicky Don.
I think it's like Dickie Thon.
With the flip?
Yeah, the flip. Thicky Don.
But the flip makes it sound like a porn name.
Wilson, the biggest fraud since Nandi.
Oh, my goodness.
And I didn't write that, so this is not my account.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm under my own account right now. There's no way I wrote that. People try to say that was me, remember? In the group. That's not me.
Well, I think people were getting on Wilson's case online pretty much the last 2 days because every Phillies post that he follows with a hashtag Fire Gabe.
Yeah. Well, guess what? He's right. He's right. You're right. And everybody that looked at the man's coming in for 3 stinking pitches and act like that's okay in a 5-0 game. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was fired up.
And they act like a guy didn't throw 25 to 30 before he came into the game. This is where people are idiots. Like, people just think it's like you're playing online. You know what I mean? Or you're playing MLB The Show, and it's like, oh, he's not really warming up. He'll just come in and throw. He's going to and throw. No, he's got to get warmed up, you idiots.
I got people crushing me on the book, telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, how you going to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? You got a guy that you've been using for 4 out, 5 out, 2-inning saves all year. You're going to have him come in to pitch to one fucking batter, and then you're going to tell me that him going out and shitting the bed the next night. That night before didn't have any effect on him?
Yeah, you're absolutely crazy.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
You're going to change what a guy does. You don't understand these guys by now? Some guys hop over the line every time. Some guys need to touch the line every time. Some guys wear the same jock every time. You understand what I'm saying to you? You understand what goes on with these guys? The superstition that's just part of baseball? all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You do the same thing every time, all the time.
And don't you think it would have been nice to be able to use him for 2 innings last night in that 16-inning game? But
no.
he wasn't available because he got used 2 consecutive nights when the first night he should have never been in the game.
And like I said, the things Gabe does really well, Mike, okay, and he's done really well, is give his players confidence because you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
And you see the way he talks to guys and talks about his players, and you see the way he greets guys, struggle or not, when they come into the dugout.
He rubs a little coconut oil on their teeth.
Yeah, and they love it. You know what I mean? And the wives obviously love him, too.
Does
you know what I mean? So it's a
the old
win-win.
Chandler, the attaboy?
Hey, yeah. And so the thing is, I think that goes a long way with these kids and these players. I really do.
Sure.
Not the guys need to be.
It absolutely does. When you got your back, when your manager has your back, you become a good player's manager.
And you just believe in guys.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to guys like you believe in them, them things matter, man. Them things work.
Yeah,
I swear by them things.
There is no question that he is absolutely a player's manager. I just don't always know that he knows what he's doing.
I told a kid today, right, who I believe in. I do. It's not that I don't believe. You know what I mean? I'm not making up stories here, but I do believe in him. And he's going through it a little bit, but he works his tail off. And I know he's trying to get out of it, a little slump, right? And he's like, I haven't hit at all. You know what I mean? I haven't hit at all. And I said, well, one, because it's up here, okay? And I said, two, you can lose confidence the second I lose confidence in you. So until you see me lose confidence in you, stop it.
Yeah.
Knock it off. Okay?
Oh, no doubt about it.
The second I take you from wherever you're batting up here and you're all the way at the bottom, start to wonder if maybe you're doing things wrong or not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you work and guys see you work, now at this level everybody works, but managers see through that. They know how they need to talk to different guys, how different guys handle it.
Yeah.
And I thought he brought a breath of fresh air in here. As much as I hate a lot of the decisions he makes and has made. Because to me, if I'm not bunting Franco there, which you don't, I get that, but I got to have a conversation with him before he even goes up in that spot.
Because you got to have an idea.
You got an idea what you want to do. Now, I understand they're big league ball players, and they should understand that. But a lot of guys, and some from Latin American countries,
I was going to say,
don't understand
are we referring to
all that sometimes.
Are we referring to the Spanish Mafia
Yeah.
here?
And it's okay. I get it because they didn't grow up being taught so many unselfish things that can win you a game.
Right.
Trying to hit the ball the other way on the ground or in the air to get the guy from second to third. Little things that win you ball games in big spots. If you're not a bunter, fine. You need to be able to handle the bat and be able to give yourself up sometimes for the sake of your team.
Let me throw this question at you, right? Do you think this is an example of a new manager trying to do things a different way to make a name for himself? Because I know my new manager sure as shit does that, and I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. You're going to throw – he brought in a pitcher, a lefty, before a batter was announced, which allowed that manager to put back a righty.
Okay,
and he said that he did it purposely because I guess that was against Adobo Herrera. He didn't want Adobo Herrera hitting in a high leverage part of the game. He'd rather the righty bat right there. So he did it before that. I'm like,
yeah, the game that Herrera sat.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily buy that. You know what I mean?
some of them will say whatever they got to say afterwards to make them sound smart. You know what I mean?
And that's what that sounded like. But you know what I'm saying? If they are indeed trying to do things a different way to make a name for themselves early on, that's anti what we know as baseball. I don't.
No, it's just a bunch of guys wearing khaki shorts, right, and freaking some cute pair of shoes that are like Harvard grads that are feeding the BS, feeding the analyticals, feeding all the extra.
It's interesting that you say that because Robbie, I think it's actually a valid question. I don't think he's doing it to make a name for himself.
Penny loafers. That's a good one. That's a good one.
What are Docksiders?
Docksiders be better.
Yeah,
thank you. I couldn't think of what the one I was going for.
Sandals with a strap on the back.
Rook you. Now you know you're Ivy.
Yeah. Maybe a sweater tied around the neck. But Robbie, to your point, I think it's a good question, and I don't think he's doing it to make a name for himself. But what I do think he's doing is trying to reinforce his whole premise of, he's going to work off of the analytics and use the feel for the game as his secondary measure as opposed to, feel for the game first and then, okay, maybe let me go look at the numbers. And I think the prime example of this was Monday night. I'm, down there. It's actually down there Sunday night too because Well, here's the problem.
No, you're a fucking problem.
Okay, I mean I am, but
you go to a ton.
Saturday night got rained out, so we were supposed to be Saturday, Monday. Saturday night gets rained out. They play the makeup Sunday night, so I'm there Sunday night, right back down there Monday night.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad they called that early though. They didn't wait for that.
Yeah, they didn't wait for that one because I would have been pissed. But Monday, so Eflin doesn't get out of the fourth inning. They're already playing with a short bench because they sent 2 guys down after the doubleheader on Sunday, and they only brought 1 guy back up, and it was a pitcher. So they're already short a bat on their bench.
Gotcha.
Eflin doesn't get out of the fourth, but he double switches in the top of the fourth inning. So I want to say it was Mitch Walding had been in the starting lineup for that game. Why, I have no idea, but Walding was in, I believe it was Walding who was in the, or I'm sorry, no, it was Plouffe that was in the lineup, and Plouffe wound up making the last out of the bottom of the third. Mm-hmm. And he double switches Plouffe out of the game when he brings a reliever in the top of the fourth. And I'm like, okay, if this was the 6th or 7th, I'm completely on board with your double switch. In the third inning, when you're already working with a short bench, just suck it up and understand that if you're trying to get more than an inning out of your pitcher, he's going to have to bat one time. And what happens at the end of the game, they fight all the way back to 7-6, but now all of a sudden they're out of players.
Right. Gotcha. To save the bat on the bench, I would just, even if I'm going to take the pitcher out, I would just send him up there. He can try to bunt for a base hit. He could just try to worm his way a walk or what have you, or to chalk it up as an out. And that way you still keep that bat on the bench.
Yeah, or worst case scenario, I know that Velasquez started on Sunday night. Hey, Vince, I'm going to need you to hit tonight. You think he's going to turn that down?
Truth.
Truth.
No, but some stuff he does is bonehead stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like where and listen, I'll get some stuff to being a first year guy. Some. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at this point, your personnel.
100 games in, right?
Yeah, your personnel.
Right, so are we just transitioning right into the Cap?
Well, I feel like we've been talking about Cap for a minute.
We'll do it.
I figured we'll just keep talking Phils and Cap and whatever the hell anybody else wants us to say.
Amen.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like, he just doesn't think out his bench sometimes, doesn't think out situations sometimes, and this isn't his problem. But Mitch Walding has no right being on a major league roster, especially for a team in first place. He can go down and hit fastballs in the minors out all he wants, but he's shown that he cannot hit big league pitching. It's pretty clear that he can't hit big league pitching. So I mean, I had enough with that experiment. That's why an Adam Jones, or another outfield bat. Not to take Nick Williams' spot, but just another outfield bat.
Well, and if he's big on having Walding because Walding's a left-handed bat, there's a kid that they just promoted to Double-A Reading who has been tearing the absolute cover off the ball since he got there. One Mr. Adam Hazley. And I got no problem.
Parker, start shotgunning in a minute.
I got
shotgun in a minute.
I got no problem jumping Hazley from single A to double A to the majors in 1 year. It worked for Washington with Juan Soto. Yeah. I'll drive out to Reading and pick his ass up.
This is a college bat too.
Oh yeah,
it's even different.
Exactly. It's not. We're not talking about Moniak. Now, granted, Moniak's been hot the last 3 weeks too, but Adam Hazley, come on down, Daddy, because I'm ready for you.
I'm ready. I mean, I don't need to wait for a guy like that either. He continues to hit for the next couple weeks, especially jumping up a level, continues to show it. Why wait? If you don't go out and make a move for another bat?
It's a bat that pitchers haven't seen when you're going in the playoffs.
Yep.
That's just smart baseball.
But you know how it's going to work. They're going to want to, hold the rights as long as they can and make sure he's seasoned. But
And the other piece of this puzzle.
Now that's a high school bat. Maybe I'm a little different a year into the big league ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for a college bat and a guy who's hit his, the whole time in college, the reason he was selected where he was selected, why you got to wait? You know what I mean? Guy proven he's going to hit at every level, especially double A, because we know how much good pitching is down at double A.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a ton. There's probably more there than at triple A.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this how many times?
So many. We're reminiscing enough.
Yeah, that you can jump from double A. You could jump from double A to the majors and have success because the pitching you see at double A is probably better than some of that you'll see at triple A. But if this all shakes out the right way over the next couple weeks, and if Matt Klentak shows some
balls,
guyans,
I stole your hand. Starting to
Uh,
go.
marbles?
So I saw your hand.
Marbles? Roman Quinn is finally healthy. I would be perfectly fine with them going, and this is also saying, if they don't do an Adam Jones deal. So if you want to go into, August and September with 4 outfielders being Reese, Odubel, Nick Williams, and your 4th is Roman.
I don't got a problem with that.
And your 4th is Roman.
If he's healthy, absolutely not.
And then
Because if he was, listen,
and
if he
then
was healthy,
and then your backups on the infielder, Plouffe and Valentine. Get Walding out of here. Get Dylan Cousins out of here. Get all these minor league guys out of here. You get Plouffe and Valentine. And then if you need your 5th outfielder, you just reach down to Redding and you pull up Mr. Hazley, and here we go.
listen, Roman Quinn, let's be real, without the injuries, would have already been here.
Oh, he'd probably be starting,
here,
yeah.
And he's batting 300 at a clip and then got hurt again.
Right.
So, if Roman is healthy, absolutely, that's an easy solution to a left-handed bat off your bench. Done. And helps you late in games defensively in the outfield, too, for Hoskins. And a big-time upgrade outfield for either Hoskins, Williams, whatever one you want that night you want to,
you want to move around.
Move around in the 8th inning or later. Also, he brings you the ability to start a couple days as well. And that will keep him probably healthier than when he was up at the big show and he's playing every day.
And
like Roman Quinn, to me, if he can play 3 days a week, he could be extremely serviceable and stay healthy.
And
the problem is, whenever he plays too much baseball, he gets hurt.
And let's not forget that Roman Quinn's natural position and what he was drafted as was a shortstop. And this year in spring training was the first year, I believe, since they moved him to the outfield, that the organization actually had him taking balls on the infield again. And he played some second and some short during spring training. So if it's the whole versatility thing that Gabe is looking for, well, bang, there's your guy.
Greg says, I'm already here. I can valet him home. Talking about Hazley.
Let's
do it. Valet him. Valet him. Parker says 7 beers in an hour. Not bad. I say so myself. Not bad at all, brother. Jim Brannigan says Randy Johnson. That's a great arm, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take that one right out of retirement. Where was that?
It was just recently anniversary, right, where he threw over Kruk's head.
Yes, it is.
The All-Star game,
yeah.
Mike Parker said, if you step back and just relish for a minute, isn't it exciting to be talking about about being potential buyers at the deadline? Feels like the most active. See, this new Facebook thing.
Oh, it's annoying.
You can't even see the end of what he wrote.
Yeah, you have to hit, read more to be able to read.
No, I did it. Read more.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Feels like the most active we've, probably been is what he said. Oh, the most active deadline in years. Yep. Agreed, brother. Agreed. Couldn't read that one. That took a while, huh? Anybody that says read more, it becomes an issue.
Updates are the devil.
Oh, yeah. It's been going like this for a minute. What were we just saying right before that?
Roman Quinn.
Yeah.
We were on to something. Yeah, whatever.
Versatility.
No, I mean, he does. He brings a ton, but we'll see which direction they go. I mean, we haven't bought anything at the deadline, but it feels like we've been in a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
We've been at a few tables, just haven't eaten yet.
Now, hitting the tube real quick.
Hit away.
F. Deems says, baseball is a mental game like nothing else. Maybe golf, too. Sixers JT says, Kingery can play everything. Ryan Brodo, favorite AM in the PM moment when Tom and Mike literally knocked themselves off the air. Happy 3rd birthday, boys.
I don't remember that one.
That was the first time Chase came back to Philly, and there were some jabrones that were saying that they should have plunked him instead of cheering him. When your team's 30 games out of first place and 25 below 500.
People said they should have plunked them?
Yeah, there were people that – because we were talking about, do you agree with the cheers and stuff like that? And there were people – I got into it with Navo, too. Something.
Oh, okay, so it was dumb.
Headsets flying.
But we knocked ourselves off the air.
Well, you know what's funny about what would I say? Jeez.
And F. Deems continues on. He says, rub some dirt on it. You've got this kid. Roman could be their pinch runner as another mental aspect of the game. Mm-hmm. And then you were talking about, you mentioned Randy Johnson, and he goes, dude hit a goddamn dove. That's like a 1 in 100 million chance or whatever.
Listen, what I have a problem with last night is you want to cheer him coming up, fine. Cheer him coming up. Nobody's got an issue there, okay? But you can't You can't have Chance going, let's go Chase when he's up the bat. One, in that spot, in that game.
No, not in the 12th inning of a game you're trying to win.
All right? And when he gets a hit, you can't freaking cheer it. You can't fucking cheer the hit. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Are you nuts? If he would hit a homer there, you cheering that? When they go up 1 in the 12th, you cheering that? You fucking frauds? Because that's fraud shit. And the Eagles' chance, listen, I get it. We're Super Bowl champs. But it's a first-place baseball team. Can we stop the chance and tie games? Can we stop? There's like 20 of them. Every time I turn it on, it's another one. Can you animals stop it? You got the season's right here. You can give as many Eagles chance as you want at the link. I'm 4-for-4 like nobody's business, but there's some fucking rules here, babe.
Yeah.
Some rules here. That's a crumb shit.
That game could be the difference between winning or losing the division.
You gonna go to freaking Flyers games and go, let's go Sixers? Grow up, Peter Pan. That's not realistic. Yeah. That's not how people operate. Come on. I love every team the same. But I'm not doing let's go Eagles chance at Phillies games or vice versa. Yeah. That's dumb. I don't care how good one team is or another. Now I get it when we were Drek and we were playing and we were a bad baseball team. All right, I smell some of that coming. And I'm okay with that. Right. You're in first freaking place. You're playing the LA Dodgers. How about beat LA or fuck LA? One of them two work. Not let's go Chase when he's up the bat. Now you want to cheer him. You want to cheer him coming up? Absolutely. You want to beg for him to come up? I'm cool with that too for the people going there to see him as well. All right? But it ends there.
Yeah.
The chance don't continue.
He gets announced as a pinch hitter. You cheer wildly until he gets into the box, and when he gets in the box, it's over. He's a visitor.
Yeah.
And the dueling Eagles chants in the 14th inning or 16th, whatever, like, it was funny because I had put on the book last night that they made reference a couple times to the 20-inning game that they played against the Dodgers back in '93. It was Kevin Stocker's Major League debut. And I've told the story on the show a couple times about how me and my buddy Chris started literally in the top row of the vet. And by like the 14th inning, we were sitting first row on top of the Dodgers dugout. But that game, like, you know, I mean, there were no EAGLES chants going, you know, and you didn't hear those in 2008 either.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You know where you heard them was when when Phillies fans went on the road to Baltimore, New York, Pittsburgh, whatever, in other cities.
That's okay.
They would chant the Eagles chant while they were watching Phillies games.
Let people know.
But at Citizens Bank Park in 2008, 2009, you didn't hear Eagles chants.
That's stupid.
And I get that
it makes us look dumb.
I get that the Birds won the Super Bowl. Fine.
I was there.
We covered it ad nauseum.
Yep. We all know.
Let's have a little respect for your first place ball club.
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
All right? Like, you want to do it in the parking lot and shit? Be my guest.
The Flyers saw it too. There was
crumb stop.
I mean, but that was during when the playoffs were going on, so I get it. Or shortly thereafter, I should say. You know, I get that, but yeah, you're there to root on your team, support their team. You know.
Steph Hoover says, "Preach to us."
There we go.
Parker, dude, I'm embarrassed when they were booing Roberts for pinching Kemp instead of Chase. Yeah, me too, brother. He's like, they're trying to win. Mm-hmm. 70 says, "Grow up, Peter Pan. I'm dead." And Parker says, Fransky said it on the radio. What did he say? Beat LA? Or that he hates the chance?
No, I think there was a beat LA chant, and Fransky said, finally, a chant that I could get behind.
Oh, nice.
I love Fransky.
Ralphie D says, listen, my 87-year-old grandmother cheered when Chase got that hit. I had to put her in her place. That shit don't fly in my house. I love you.
That's
I love you, Ralph.
Everybody's on fire tonight. That's excellent.
Everybody but this fucking bird.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Well, it's funny because I'm getting crushed on my personal book by
who?
By Greg D'Amico, because he's just saying, he's like, what did he say here?
You want Daddy to come to the rescue here?
No, I mean, it's not even necessary. It's just
love this work.
He's looking at it completely the wrong way. I mean, because the post was, number one, it was last night. And I just said, look, I love Chase. It's one thing to cheer his success when your team is 30 games under 500. It's an entirely different story when your team is battling for a division title. And just what I just said to you guys. You cheer wildly when he comes to the plate, treat him like a visitor once he steps into the box. And he says, 30,000 paid attendants disagree, respect greatness, but keep booing from your couch. And, of course, my response is, my couch? With a picture of, you know, the picture that I took at the game. And I said
That's
to
why
him,
he's Big Mikey Small.
there we go. BMS in the house. I said there was no booing from me, but don't let the facts get in the way of your narrative. So he says, glad you got to witness greatness. I was there. Just boring that Philly fans do the same thing every time. Sports radio needs something to talk about every day, so I get the existence of this dumb status. But I stood and applauded the guy who gave me one of my greatest sports memories. Sue me.
What are you saying?
Well, hold on, because I said, Greg, I stood and applauded before every at-bat. I'm not cheering a 12th inning single when we're trying to win a division title. Sue me. And then I said, and maybe check the timestamp on the post, my friend. Because I'm thinking he probably thought it was today. And he said, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Just glad that the crowd made the right decision. Just a respect thing. We'll agree to disagree. What are we agreeing to disagree on, Greg? I didn't disrespect the man. I cheered every time he came to the plate.
It ends there.
I'm not cheering for a single when we're trying to win the goddamn game.
Absolutely not. Like, he's wearing fucking Dodger blue. All right? Like, listen, no player will ever be bigger than the team, right? I mean, no player is ever going to, like, you're going to continue to go watch Phillies games because there's going to be a new generation of talent, right?
Well,
like, they all set a table and make you more of a fan. I get that side of it. And you can cheer him and love him when he comes back to the ballpark. And as Mr. Wilson says, I would blow him if he let me.
Well, here's the thing.
That's fine.
Here's the thing. People are going to say, well, he hit a grand slam in his first game back, and the place gave him a standing ovation and a curtain call.
We stunk.
We were 30 games out of first place, and a legend came back. You got to know your situation.
Yeah.
You're 30 games out of first place. You cheer whoever the hell you want.
Expectations
You're a game
change.
ahead. Yeah, exactly. Expectations change.
I like that.
And so should fan behavior.
Absolutely.
And he's not a guy that needs the cheering, first of all. From what I've seen from being the rival, right, that guy thrives when he's get booed. When we've been on him, right, he responds by putting it over the right field fence and walking around the bases like a professional. Like, you don't need to cheer him. You can cheer him on the way up there, but after
you don't
that,
have
he's
to,
the enemy.
And we're not telling you to boo him when he gets a hit. You can't like cheer like one of your like he plays for the Phillies.
Treat him like he's on your DFS team.
Yeah.
You know, you get said, all right, cool, I guess he's some money.
But see, here's the thing, though. To his credit, he gets it. Because before the first at bat on Monday night, he stood there, he tipped the cap, he waved to the crowd. That was it. Every at bat for the rest of the series, he got in the box and he went. And he didn't acknowledge the crowd again until after the final out today, when he took the time to come out and wave and tip his cap again. Yeah. So if he gets it and we get it, and most of the fan base gets it, why does this jackoff get it?
No, because people have their agendas when they come on to social media.
We're like finishing each other's sentences.
Look how it's becoming. I'll see you later.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
In the case of this guy, you can't explain stupid.
Mike,
I just don't get it.
Greg says if it was anyone else other than Chase, I'd agree. It's the last time we'll see him. I'll give a pass for Chase, and yeah, it was a 12th. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted him to go yard, sprint around the bases, and give us one more thrill. You're a fraud.
That's a problem.
You are a problem. You're gonna say that
you're a goddamn
you wanted
problem.
him to hit a home run last night in a tie game in the 12th inning. We're looking for a guy to jack one for the Dodgers.
I would have taken a solo shot in like the third inning of Game 1 on Monday. I'm not looking for a home run in the 12th.
If you were here right now. You know what I mean, babe? If you were here right now, you got tossed.
You get tossed.
I got to figure out where.
Penalty box.
I got to try to isolate
5 minutes.
Memory going saying you're a goddamn problem
You're
just so I could just play it
Fire
that
it
one time.
Fire the bet up. Go ahead. Fire it up. Let the people hear the whole thing. For the people that are just tuning in, Bob Mannery, friend of A2D.
Hi, Bob.
For Greg.
Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike. AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Love Bobby. Thanks, Robbie.
And what's great is the second mark is 23.
There
it's
you
easy
go.
to remember.
Oh, easy.
Easy to
Jordan.
remember.
Jordan talk. Joe talk.
Did you hear the story I told on the Fix tonight about Bob?
No.
Ryan was talking about, or they had somebody asked on the in the chat on the Fix when we're just going to have Bob come on the shows, And so the conversation shifted to Bob a little bit, and I'm like, I looked at Ryan, I'm like, Bob Menery? You mean the guy who got me out of bed at 7:45 a.m. on a Friday to ask me how to pronounce Delgazzo? Because he was going to pronounce Uncle Sweeps' name as Delgozo.
That would have went over well. That would have went over real well. I love it. The freaking typical Irish guy.
What, you don't have Italians up there in Boston?
Yeah, you got no Italians that can help you with that? You got to put a Mataraki out of bed 7:30 in the morning?
I'm like, first
Pronunciation?
off, what are you doing in the studio at 7:45 a.m. on a Sunday when you're Bob fucking Menery?
Well, he's a problem, yeah.
He is a problem.
Good problem, though. Good
I
problem.
like him.
Yeah, he's funny as shit. And Greg
So, another blast from the past today. I had a little shout-out for Mr. Zach Burr.
Oh.
Zach sends his love, and he also says he gives Kapler an A for his first 100 games.
Wow.
And he doesn't think that the local media is giving him enough credit for the job he's doing with the lack of talent that roster has.
It depends how you look at the talent, though. You know what I mean? Because I would also argue that there is a ton of talent.
As would I.
Of young talent on this roster. Now,
are they underachieving? Yeah, they are, but that doesn't mean that there's not talent.
Listen,
there.
I'm giving them a B.
That's where I am.
You know, I'm not giving them an A.
I'm a solid B.
Like, babe, we're 20 games over 500, and we're rocking and rolling like that, then it's got to be A talk. Okay, 12 games, pump our brakes. Okay, we got a real good record, playing great baseball. I get all that. But there's been mistakes, too. Now, I understand all managers make mistakes. Some of his mistakes are just weird. And you're like, well, that's going to come back and bite you sometime, doing stupid shit like that. But, you know, the A, that's Zach. Now, has he gotten enough credit? I don't think he's gotten enough credit. I think the local media could give him a little bit more. I agree there. But have I really felt like it's been a lot of negativity? Absolutely not either. I would say it's been pretty much like this with Gabe Kapler since the start of the season. Right? I mean, the start of the season, you know, we were level red. Right? It was bad. It was ugly. Right? We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were talking about firing him right now. Okay? As it's gone, it's been like this. Right? It came down here. You hit a couple little ups and downs where you're like, and then you may hit a little peak where you're like, oh, he's back. And then he comes back and it's evened out. And I think that's the way, and I think the local media has been about like the same way with it. I don't think it's been like Crush City by any stretch.
Well, you know you guys both know my theory on the managers. Is that a good manager is going to win you an extra 5 to 10 games a year, and a bad manager is going to lose you 5 to 10 games a year. If I'm looking at it just in a vacuum with that theory in mind, Gabe has probably lost them 4 to 5 games this year with some of the buttons that he's pushed. But the motivation and some of the lineup decisions that people would look at with a raised eyebrow, and then they wind up working out, like batting Knapp leadoff, batting Santana leadoff, dropping Franco to 8th. Those types of things, you know, they're not necessarily in-game moves where he's pushing buttons that are going to get those wins back, but you got to give him a little credit. I think, you know, he got hurt.
Yeah, you don't got to give him a hand job.
Right.
You got to give him
he got hurt. He got hurt early in the
people.
season by using, 7, 8, 9 pitchers in a game. And just running through relief pitchers, out after out after out after out. And I think there's some people that are still kind of holding that grudge. But, has he lost a few games? Sure, he has. But on the flip side, the lineup decisions, the motivation, the personnel, and you can't argue with the result. He's 12 games over 500.
You can't, Mike. And you know what? When Pluth hit the homer last night, I fell asleep, okay, and I was up. What did we go, 16? I was up in the 15th, and I started just to listen to it instead of watching it on my phone. And I woke up with the phone on my chest, and I'm like, shit, like 7:30. Like, what the hell happened? Yeah. And it was like, I go to it, and I'm like, oh, God, we won 7-5. Yes. And I'm like, what happened? We had to hit a walk-off with 7-5, and I see Pluth hit one off of Kiki Hernandez. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, my God. And it was extension, bomb away, right? And then I wanted to do, and I ran out of time. I didn't have time because I had to get right out the door. But I wanted to like put Kiki, do you love me? I wanted to put that over his homer bet. Like that bet over his homer. Because
if you're the Dodgers,
it would fit that trend. You know what I mean?
If you're the Dodgers, what the fuck do you have putting a position player in a tie ball game in extra innings? You're giving the game away.
Here's what happened. So they're down to Jansen coming out of the pen. He's the last pitcher they had available. So Jansen, I think, went an inning and 2/3.
Which is a lot
for him.
For
him,
now.
it's an inning and 2/3. They send Rich Hill out to the bullpen to warm up, starting pitcher. He can't get loose. And so basically what they did was he was trying to get through the 16th with a position player, and had they gone on to the 17th, he was bringing Rich Hill in.
Okay.
But Hill wasn't loose by the time the bottom of the 16th started, so he just basically had to pick a position player and pray that he got out of the inning. First pitch of the inning, Nick Williams hits like a lazy fly ball to right field, and I go, okay, this may just work. But then he walks a couple guys, and Plouffe comes up and goes Yahtzee.
Unbelievable. I mean, I guess it didn't stop Vinny from getting ready. Didn't he come in somewhere in your series?
He did, but he had just thrown Sunday night, so I believe
for a bullpen.
Yesterday would have been his bullpen day.
Right.
And he went out early. He ran out in the 11th inning and only sat out there for about an inning before he started throwing. So he was a little wild. I mean, he got out of his inning unscathed, but he was a little wild.
Listen, they got to be careful with Jansen. I'm going to be honest with you. They better be careful. You know what I mean? Dave Roberts, I don't give a shit. But you know what I mean? But, Dave Roberts should be real careful with Jansen. I mean, that's the best closer in baseball to me. And people can at me all day with that. Right? When he's good, he's the best closer in baseball. Tough. When his cutter's moving and his stuff, he's lights out. He's doing a ton of innings. Because you got to look how much they've used him in not only the postseason last year. Go back to last year. Rack up the amount of innings he threw in the postseason last year.
Are you talking multi-seasons?
Oh, it doesn't. It's not just last year. I mean, every postseason that he's been a part of the Dodgers in that role, he's thrown a ton, and that's not their fault.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I feel like you just look at him right now, and you're like, man, he looks like he's any minute now. He might just give out for a minute. Like his face just looks like worn out because maybe it's the beard. Maybe it's the beard. I'm like, he looks tired, and he needs maybe an extra month off.
So
this off season.
Your points sound though, because you've seen the effect on Jake Arrieta from throwing all those innings for the Cubs. I mean, I know it's a starter versus reliever, but still, there's a sharp decline when you go to that well too much.
Yeah, some good. You're right, Robbie. Some good stuff on the tube here. It's funny.
We'll tell them the whole because we're gonna come right over to the tube.
All right, you want to go?
Yeah, because we're at what are we at now?
Like an hour and 3.
Yeah, hour and 3. So we'll head over to the tube. So tell the family we're coming. Is there someone you want to read it out right now?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple.
Well, read them out. Read them out.
So he says, F-Team says, I love Carson Wentz. If he leaves after 4 rings and plays us and gets a big pass against us in the fourth quarter, it's fuck Carson.
Yep.
And then he says, as a Cards fan, I can't. ASMR, me of everything, says, every game is critical. I love Chase, but it's the Philadelphia Phillies, not the Philadelphia Utleys.
Our family's smart.
And then F-Team says, as a Cards fan, I can't see that. If Pujols goes back to St. Louis to play against them, I'm not cheering for him if he's up in the 13th inning. TTP Ballin, love Chase, but he's on another team now. That's sad if you want to lose a game for us because he used to play here, shaking my head. And then Nitro Freak says, I'll come back for the Eagles. Good. F-Team's Kimbrel was hard to argue
against. You want to get put over somebody's knee, we'll love to have you.
Yeah, and then F-Team says, Jordan Hicks has a cannon. Yes, he does. All right, we're good. Caught up.
Jordan Hicks?
I think they started talking about the Cards.
Oh, Jordan Hicks for the Cards.
Yeah.
I thought.
Not our Jordan Hicks.
I was like, cannon. We
the
talking
Cardinals
about you got a big
Hicks.
dick? Like, you know what I mean? You said he got a cannon. I was like, it came out of nowhere. Jordan Hicks got a cannon. I'm like, what happened, dude? He shot something up your ass? I didn't know what happened.
Bada boom.
Bada bing. Listen, our family's smart over there. You saw the comments, how they were talking about Utley. Our family on the book smart as well. Listen, everybody.
Get over
Twitter,
to YouTube.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook. Head over to YouTube. Head over to the site, wherever you want to go to. Everybody on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't. Follow on the book. Follow on Twitter. You know how we roll. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio. This segment is brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC. Our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web. GibsonMayer.com. We'll be back in a few minutes. Late.
Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, is brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Mike from Tom and Mike AM in the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's www.gibsonmayer.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, on A2DRadio.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi.
Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2D Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios. Every Wednesday night, though, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant.
Make
him
yours.
yours. Gibson Mayer, LLC. Find him on the web, gibsonmayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Robbie Pove on the ones and twos. Greg Milakovic, not with us, but with us. Danny McGuckin said he'll be back next week.
All right.
We'll see, Dan. Love to have you, brother. Danny knows I love him.
Well, you mentioned Gibson Mayer, and I will be a few short weeks away from
tailgate season.
From tailgating with my friend, Mr. Gibson. So it seems like a pretty fair transition over to some Birds talk.
I thought it was real simple, right? But listen, if you're just joining us, our poll question that's brought to you by Scanzano Sports, Find him on the web, scanzanosports.com. You got a little one about to come up, play some ball. Send him over to the family. Take care of him. Nobody ever listens to that. So just realize that right now at a young age, because I tell my dad now at least once a week that I apologize to him. I apologize to him consistently about, sorry for never listening to anything he ever told me.
Yeah.
Because I always thought you were wrong and everybody else knew what they were talking about. When he was just telling me probably everything everybody else was telling me. But
it's like sorry, Mom and Dad, for being a dick when I was younger.
yeah, sorry for not listening to a word you said about anything. It ties into our poll question if Matt Quintac will listen to a word we say. Which left-handed starting pitcher would you like to see the Phillies acquire at the MLB Trade Deadline? Cole Hamels, J.A. Happ, Blake Snell, other. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find this. Over on the YouTube side of things now. If you're over there, subscribe, babe. If you're just on the YouTube, come over to the book. 28,000 followers and growing. The big boys are here. We put our big boy pants on, and the takeover is fucking real. Come over there. The Gram, Twitter, we're fucking everywhere. Don't miss the social content because you're just on the tube. Don't miss the content being delivered to the fucking pages, babe. Don't miss that. I don't want anybody missing that. All right.
Can't miss out.
Can't miss it. Oh, jeez, what are we doing here? Okay. I just saw Nick Foles thing. All right. We're going to go Eagles talk, baby. It started today.
It did.
It got underway. The champs were back in town.
And a piece of great news, first broken by our good friend Ian Rappaport.
Rap sheet.
About the quarterback, if you will.
It's my quarterback.
It's my quarterback starting the season on the active roster instead of the PUP list. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, and we're going to talk about Carson, and we're going to talk about positional battles, concerns that you guys have. And listen, we know how we feel, and most national smart pundits and writers, that this is a top 1 to 5 roster easily
Top
in the
to
NFL.
bottom, yeah.
Easily in the NFL. So where do you guys think it ranks? You know, is it 1 to you guys? Is it 5? Is it further away than that to some people? I don't know. Maybe start jumping if it is. But to me, I can make a strong case that this is 1, and that case is all based on 11. Because
okay. And I wouldn't fight you on it.
Because who was the best team in football pre-injury?
Right.
And even after injury, obviously, because we went on to win the goddamn Super Bowl. So the way this team's built and the culture, and I don't believe there's going to be a Super Bowl hangover with this team because there's a lot of guys that were around it but weren't
part of it, yeah.
And that matters, especially when one's your quarterback and he's a workhorse. And listen,
and one of the other ones is your
middle linebacker.
Well, no,
or Hall of Fame left tackle.
Your Hall of Fame left tackle, exactly.
Yeah, you're right. And I want to clarify this for the people because we both said it on air numerous times. I know Greg has, and I know Willie Sweeps. Everybody that I've been on shows with has said the same damn things. If he's not ready to go, then you don't rush him.
Right.
But now let me make this fucking clear.
Not just clear, Robbie. Fucking clear.
And I think that's clear, right?
Yeah.
If he's ready to go, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's not, oh, Nick will start over. None of that.
He either is or he isn't.
It's a generational type talent. He was the MVP of the league pre-injury. He's young. He had the brace off in no time because he's a workhorse. He doesn't focus on the other bullshit that some other guys with this kind of injury have. He focuses like one Mr. Adrian Peterson focused on his rehab when he was with the Vikings. Right. It was the same type of focus. It was focused on one thing, and that's getting back and being dominant. So if you don't think that this kid's going to be dominant right from jump, there's not going to be – I'm putting it out there. There's not going to be –
no ring rust?
For him, absolutely. Not going to be for this team either, but there's not going to be any rust with him. There's not going to be. Yeah. We're not going to be in rust talk because he's been throwing the whole freaking time almost.
He works too hard.
And in OTAs, he was already essentially going in a way. Yeah. So it's not like he was missing reps. And right now, what you're saying when he's clear 7-on-7, he's not missing reps at all.
Right.
Now 11-on-11, I'm not worried about yet. But 7-on-7 is important because you need them reps with your guys.
Right. And
it's very important, and that he's clear for that is huge.
Right. And the thing is, people get so fixated on the calendar because they say, oh, he got hurt end of November, beginning of December, and the time frame is 9 to 12 months. So you don't rush this guy back before 9 months. Give him the full 9 to 12. Look, medical science is not an exact science. The human body works differently for everybody. You may heal faster than me. I may heal faster than Robbie. Carson heals faster than all three of us combined.
Oh, Jesus walks on water, babe.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, when you're a man of God, Ginger Jesus.
Remember what he said?
You get a little divine intervention.
Remember what he said when he got hurt?
Yeah.
Remember it? We talked about it.
He said he'd be ready.
He said, but not even that, Mike. He said the biggest thing he said. You know what? There's a bigger plan up there that I don't know. I don't know what that is yet, and that made me think. I swear, we talked about it. It made me think. Oh, he believes they're going to go on and win this thing. He believes that something bigger working here. You know what was working? Jesus and the Lord taking away a curse. That's what was working, babe.
But I thought that's what he was talking about.
I don't want to get in a little Sunday. We're not in Sunday school, but you know what I mean?
But I mean, like, for the fans, like, let's have a little confidence in the doctors. I mean, this guy was walking in the door today thinking he was going to be put on the PUP list and went through his physical, and the team said, whoa, he's a little further along than we thought he was going to be. We'll just keep him active.
I know what they did.
Because they can always put him on it.
True.
If needed.
I know what they did. They threw him in that wax bath from Wanted. That's what they did. Healed him right up.
I joked that they bought it. They bought T.O.'s hyperbaric chamber and sent it over to Carson's house.
Like I just believe this team's built to win a bunch. I think this team's built for us to be on broad a bunch. I just feel like that's how it's built. I mean, I said it last night when I just walked through, Birds with Feather for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I was talking to Chalks and Rye, and I told him, I said, guys, don't take away the injury because the injury happened, but just put the talent in, right? Besides maybe the New England and Green Bay, and you can even make a case for them too if you really want to get cute about it. Besides for them too, he's a starter on every other goddamn team, and he's their franchise guy, whoever they got. And there's going to be a point when we're having this conversation next year that he's hands down best quarterback and best player in the National Football League. Because you know why? Because workhorses translate. Guys who are in the building at 4 a.m. translate.
He's an absolute worker.
Larry Bird wasn't athletic as the rest, but he worked harder than everybody else.
Spent the extra time in the gym.
Like, them guys are the first guys in, last guys out. I know it's a cliche, and people say it all the time, but the guys who are and have the talent become stars in this league. Tom Brady, another guy, first guy in, last guy to leave. Why do you think he became the greatest quarterback of all time, or arguably?
That's a 6th-round draft pick.
Why? Because he outworked everybody around him. I love the guys who can be still drafted high but come from smaller schools and have a lot of goddamn proof than your USCs and your big-time schools, because a lot of times they already felt like they made it.
Right.
If that makes sense. But, I mean, why do you see the difference in Nelson, the difference in guys around him, the buy-in around him, where guys were talking about it? New guys were like, whoa, Ronald Darby's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
These guys are a problem.
Right.
Like, I mean, I can't keep up with that.
Well,
he was almost saying, and he got burned.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But go back to your question, though, when you asked where would I rank this team.
I got excited, sorry.
No, it's okay, because everything you said was spot on. On with the boys earlier from the fix, I said that for me, for my money, the NFC will run through either Philadelphia or Los Angeles for probably the next 5 to 7 years. And I'd be looking, if I'm just looking top to bottom strength of roster, to me it's the Eagles and the Rams 1 and 1A.
Oh, absolutely.
You're right, but don't sleep on the Packers with
no,
them
and I'm not, because I think if I'm going top 5, I'm probably going Birds, Rams, Jags.
Yep, you actually have to put the Jags in the top 5.
And if they had a quarterback, they'd be top 3. I mean, maybe top 2, because I have them, Jags, Green Bay, New England, that 3, 4, 5 cluster there.
Me too.
Put them in any order you want.
But I actually jumped the Jags with the Rams.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, I know they don't have the quarterback.
The Jags ahead of the Rams.
Because their defense is that good. I mean, it walks around. It talks about it. They talk about the confidence. They're cocky son of a bitches. And if that defense was here, we'd be on our knees hard because it's special. And Jalen Ramsey sets the tone of that defense. A guy who I talked about on air,
when he was coming out of college,
was the number 1 player in that draft. To me, if I was picking one, I'm taking Jalen over Goff. That was me. But, he showed it defensively. He can change a culture. And he did with the picks they have because they're really talented on that side of the football. Now, offensively, they have weapons. But now, who is Blake Bortles? But to me, I like Jared Goff. I like the Rams. They're 3 to me.
Yeah.
They're 3. It's Eagles. I'll go Eagles, Jags, Rams, Pack, and Patriots. I'm right with you.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, though, because I look at the Rams. They have probably 3 of the top 10 defensive players in the league and the best running back in the league. I can't take them any lower than 2.
Yeah, Gurley's progression does, I could see there's a good argument for each side, but Gurley's a beast.
I mean, I'm not going to.
Yeah, no,
you're absolutely right, and I'm not going to fault you for feeling the way you feel. It's just a matter of opinion.
Yeah, I was just changing it up too because we could have went chalk on that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I could have went chalk right with you. So I just wanted to throw. I got to throw something in to switch it up, and you could make the case that they're right there. But I mean, I get the case for the Rams. I understand that. But now you have a lot of new pieces coming over on the defense side of the football, and some new pieces around that. Sometimes that takes a minute. Sometimes the flash doesn't necessarily translate. So I'll go with a team that's been together, went to an AFC title game, and had New England on the ropes. Had them on the ropes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take them as growing just as well as the Rams did, if not better.
But see, now here's the thing.
In a way.
Sure.
But again, circle back to the original question. If I'm the Birds, am I looking at the Rams thinking, can't beat them? Nope. If I'm the Birds, am I looking at Jacksonville saying, can't beat them? Nope. I mean, there's not a single team in the NFL as an Eagles fan that I look at and go, I don't want to play them.
On paper.
Oh, you know why too, Mike? Because you went up front. And we are so filthy up front. We got deeper up front.
Right.
That's a problem. The opposing teams and the quarterbacks who can't move in the pocket. Okay? That's a major issue. I mean, there's a reason you beat teams like we did in the playoffs. We went and got you. Why was our defense, so good at the beginning of the year? Because we got early leads, got up on you early, and it was pin ears and let's go. And you had a bunch of guys who could just smell the blood. You think Derek Barnett's going to not get better? You think Michael Bennett, you bring in him. You keep Chris, you bring in, you hopefully Jernigan gets right, but Haloti is another huge addition just for they make you deeper. I mean, this roster is top to bottom the best in football, and it starts over on the offensive side of football with your quarterback, which sets a tone there. You have weapons all over. I mean, you essentially have 2 legit number 1 wideouts and a top 5 tight end easily, okay? You have the best right tackle in all of football. You have a Hall of Famer left tackle coming back. And you'd expect him to be at least serviceable or good enough because of his pedigree. You got
and a center who went from being a Pro Bowler to being ready to be shipped out of town to being a Pro Bowler.
And then being a folk hero and everything that comes with that, right? And then you have running back essentially by committee with Jay Ajayi, Corey Clement, Darren Sproles. I mean, there's deep. There's weapons. There's so many weapons. And then it all starts with how good 11 is. It all starts. I mean, I'm telling you, he's going to – if he's healthy and starts the season, he's throwing 35, 40 TDs easy, and it's the best offense in football, and nobody's even close, again, if they're all healthy. Now, I think because he's so good, that health around him, there's going to come to a point, doesn't really matter, the Rodgers effect. I'm that goddamn good. A Brady effect. I'm not that goddamn good, I raise the level of everything around me. That's what the greats do. And don't think that he didn't do that for this entire roster.
No, and you're absolutely right about that. And Robbie, I'll come back to you in a second because I know you had a point that you wanted to make.
Mike Wallace, another one.
Right, but
me of everything said.
Yeah.
What kills me is when you read random articles on the Birds or off-season reports or stuff like that, and I can't tell you how many times I have seen the stat that starts out with through 13 games, Carson Wentz did A, B, and C, and the only other quarterback in history to do that was Tom Brady. The only other quarterback in history to do that was Peyton Manning. The only other quarterback in history to do that was Brett Favre. He was on pace for an absolutely historic season when he got hurt. And if he comes back healthy, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up the family's asses and tell them I think the Birds are going to go 16-0.
Yeah.
I mean, right now,
it's a 12-4, 13-3 football team. Be realistic.
And I I'm at 12-4, 11-5 because shit happens once a year.
Yeah, and I'll just go. You know, 13-3 is like okay.
Yeah, it's
really
what they did last year.
Yeah, I mean they're 12-4, 13-3, 11-5 at worst.
Yeah, at worst. I mean for me, 11-5 is because they go to Tampa week 2 with a hangover off of their opener. It's 95 degrees in Tampa with 185% humidity, and they shit the bed. Stuff happens. I don't expect it, but whatever.
This shit happens in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's ebb and flow. It's a week-to-week league. That's why I always said last year, we were talking about it, all you got to do is go to the locker room with a win. That builds a culture. That builds a chemistry. That builds a belief. I believe in, right? I believe in. When you start just going and winning games, doesn't matter, sloppy, good, great, blowouts, it doesn't matter. You go to locker rooms with W's, cultures get set that way. And a change of a culture happened here, man. It's easy what you saw.
They go to Tampa and somebody kicks a 60-yard field goal to beat us.
Matt Bryant comes out of retirement, gets in the jet stream by the Tampa airport, Tampa International, and it's just cruising on in, babe.
So, Robbie, what were you going to say when we were –
not much, just to kind of piggyback on your point. It's hard to imagine that this team is not going to be successful because it's so ramified in every facet of the game, especially in maybe a slightly underestimated powerful running back by committee, like you were pointing out. The NFL season's a tricky bird, and a lot of ebb and flows can come and go, and you never know. I've had teams where, whether it be in football or all sports, where they just looked locked and loaded, ready to go, and it didn't quite work out.
Let me tell you the difference.
Yeah.
This is the team that won it with tons of stars being out.
Right.
So what did it just say to the whole NFL that we know injury rate is what? 100%.
100%.
Okay?
Sure.
So we know that. So this team proved that we could just go win it with a bunch of guys that are backups on their team.
In a sense, they're the Boston Celtics of the NFL because they
except they won it.
Yeah, except they won.
Won it.
Yeah, that is a big difference.
It's a big difference.
But
not a believe in. We were talking about just going to locker rooms with wins. Once you hoisted Lombardi the way they did it, that's done. That culture's set. Like people were saying in the chat, like locker room issues. They ain't no locker room issues. This culture's set. Your leadership's in the building already. No matter what you bring in, your core leadership's already in the building. They all believe it. If you're 1 on the depth chart or 4 on the depth chart with this football team, you believe whoever's coming in is going to make a play. And once that starts getting rolling, that's dynasty talk. It's dynasty talk.
But I can even point. I can even.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean,
that's how I look at them. That's differently than other teams.
There's a lot to support that theory.
I hope.
Yeah, but I can point to the history of this team, and you go back and you say, rewind to the Andy Reid era for a minute. 4 straight NFC championship games. They lose the first 3. They finally win the 4th. They make the Super Bowl. If they would have won that Super Bowl, that would have been it. Because that's the, we finally did it. We won the Super Bowl. It's been how long? This team being ahead of schedule the way they were was a blessing for them. Because now it's not a,
get over the hump.
We won our Super Bowl. That's our drug. That's what we're getting high on. We're getting high on rings. And the fact that, like you said, there were superstars on this team that were not able to play in that game that are going to be super highly motivated to get them back there so that they can get their piece of the pie, so that Peters can go out on top, so that Sproles can go out on top, so that Carson can get his ring. Maragos wants to be a part of that. Jordan Hicks wants to be a part of it. So many key players that stood on the sidelines.
You don't think dudes want to win it for them dudes?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about leaders in his football team. You're talking about your franchise player. You know what I mean? Your Hall of Fame left tackle. Your running back who potentially could be wearing a gold jacket as well. Okay, especially if another ring comes along to help that cause and that fight because of all-purpose yards. Okay, I mean, you talk about a middle linebacker who was the signal caller of your defense. Right? I mean, that's a leader, right?
Well,
your special teams captain, right? I mean, these are guys who were out.
And
you think dudes around that locker room aren't like, dude, we're gonna get you one for you now, babe. Now it's your turn.
And
Let's go.
Nitro Freak actually just made a great point. He said now they're playing with house money,
and
that's absolutely right.
And that's why this is what Kyle gets misguided in our arguments over a chat because you can't get a lot out sometimes. Is the fact that if Carson wasn't ready, because we're playing with house money, I had no problem with give him 4 weeks, give him 6, and we'll get him going. This was like 5-6 months ago talk. As it's progressed, and 2018 medical's a lot smarter than 2015, 2014, even 2017. If this guy's way ahead of schedule and he's ready to go and he's cleared, and you watch him in a preseason game play a snap or two in the third one, you know what I mean? Or series.
I don't even play him in the first 2 preseason
No,
games.
the third one, just a little drive, that's it. No matter how it goes, just to get your beak wet.
And they got like 74 quarterbacks on their roster right now because he's not taking a damn snap in the preseason.
Yeah, because
probably,
but this guy's a freak. Okay,
he is a freak.
He'll be all right. And what you don't understand is that all I'm saying, if he's ready to go, and you play him. And there's no question there. But either way, it's still house money. But I believe there's just a different breed in here, in this locker room. And there's some different doggies and puppies rolling around this locker room. Think about Sidney. You get Sidney back. You get a guy who was a top 10 pick before the injury in that draft. And you get him back to go along with your corners you have already.
And that sort of circles us back to where we started this Eagles talk in terms of how good can that defense be. That's a good piece to be getting to make it better than it was last year.
Now, Ryan makes a point. Big concern is how the loss of Frank Wright affects his team. I'm going to tell you how much it does. Zilch. and I'll tell you why.
So please explain.
Okay. One, Doug's a sick. Doug calls the plays in. Okay? Let's be clear on who calls the plays for this football team. All right? He does the grocery shopping.
Yep.
And he cooks the dinner. He's a double dipper with that. Who audibles the plays at the line? If what he sees is different than what or he sees something he can expose. That's Carson. You know what I mean? Where he's at the level now with this offense because he is in the building at 4 a.m. and because he doesn't do anything but football, eat, sleep, and breathe football, that he knows his playbook. He knows what he's seeing out there. So you have a veteran quarterback, per se, who's coming into his 3rd season and is an MVP. So, and now you upgrade his QB coach, right? It wasn't the QB. Who was the QB?
Yeah, San Filippo.
Yeah, it's now the O coordinator, right? O coordinator. Well, that's his boy.
Yeah.
That's his doggy. Now talk to me how that, right, then affects just personal stuff with him.
Right.
Because they're boys. But the relationship he has with Doug and that room, I just trust it. I love Frank, and I think he brought a lot to the table with a young quarterback. I think, Ryan, if you would have talked to me after his rookie year, I think it would have been a little different because I think he did mean a lot to him just in terms of preparing and preparation.
I'm sorry, I was wrong about that. It's not DeFilippo. He's gone. It's
I thought DeFilippo was gone.
Mike Groh. My bad.
Mike Groh. Okay, still a guy that was
another
around.
another guy who was in the room.
But
Mike Groh from Dirty Jobs?
But Carson's progressed enough to be able to do these things too on his own when he sees the line. You know what I mean? Nobody's audible and plays the line besides him. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. And Doug's an O guru, dude. You know what I mean? That's what Doug came up doing as an offensive guy, offensive coordinator. So I just trust in Carson. Like I said, if it was after year 1 where both of them doggies left, then I'm like, man, that sucks. I would have liked to see him help him progress more. Well, he progressed where he needs to progress to. So they did their job there. You know what I mean? Go get another job, and this is where other guys, next man up, right? This is this whole football team.
Absolutely.
It's the whole football team. It's a great point, though, right? Like how could, will affect this offense and stuff like that. I just believe they're so good and they're so talented, and Doug's smart as shit, and Carson is too. That I think you could ask any man in that locker room, they'd probably tell you Carson knows the playbook better than Doug and Frank.
So
you know what I mean?
He probably wrote half of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically what you're saying is Wentz is all grown up.
Exactly.
He's ready to be let loose.
Yeah, when he was.
Let
he
the
was.
purse strings. I got you.
But I mean, it's a great point. I just, I don't know if that's going to affect things. I think, all his pieces are still here. The guy who calls the plays is still here. I think we're in good shape, brother.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we harped on a lot last year was that it was great having a former quarterback as your head coach, a former quarterback as your offensive coordinator, and a former quarterback as your quarterback's coach. And now, the tide's changed a little bit, and you've got some different pieces and moving parts, but you also have the ring. And you also basically had Carson become a de facto offensive coordinator
when he wasn't
during
playing.
that whole time that he wasn't playing.
Because they all do it.
Yeah.
And the thing about this, so you almost upgrade Frank Reich in meeting rooms with Nick Foles.
Yeah.
You guys got where I'm going? Because they all talk about it. They all design plays together. It's not like, Doug comes in with a playbook, but they go off of that. They change it week to week, adjustments, all them things. They do it together. That's mostly almost every NFL locker, NFL offensive meeting with your quarterbacks and your coordinators.
Well, I mean,
they do that together, your quarterbacks, your coordinators.
And this team especially, because Doug is so open to it.
Yep.
I mean, we heard multiple times last year that there were variations of plays that Carson had run in college that he really liked, that he went to Doug with, and they found their way into the game plan. And then the entire postseason, we talked about it last week, that what did Nick do well? Nick did RPO real well. So he went back to the Chip Kelly playbook and got all the stuff that Nick did really well when Chip Kelly was the coach here and put him back into the offense.
What works?
I mean, these are guys.
Adjustments.
These are guys that know what they're doing.
Listen, when your ego doesn't get in the way of something bigger, that's what accomplishes these things. You know what I mean? You got to trust in your players on what they say, on what they feel, on what they like to run, on what makes them comfortable. I thought they did a great job with that Carson in his rookie year.
Yeah.
Is put him in stuff that he's comfortable in. This guy audibled his first play from scrimmage.
He did.
Okay, it was a kill, and we all freaking jumped up and that's a generational guy.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback. I said from the first throw he ever made in preseason, on the run, on a dime with zip, I was like, yeah, that's a Rodgers type throw. That ain't even right. That's not even right. He'll be fine. I know Kyle's trying to, say that we have a bunch of defensive teams early on. How does that affect Carson? That's not a major concern to me. He's played tough defenses. This doesn't. An injury will happen if an injury happens. I'm not going to go out there thinking he's going to hurt that knee again. Like, why would I even wish that upon him? Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you wish that on me?
Let me turn that around for a second, though. And I'm not taking a shot at Kyle here when I say this, but when does the mentality flip? When do we stop worrying about the fact that we play some teams with good defenses early on and go, we're the goddamn Super Bowl champions, and we're going to go in there and we're going to do what we do? Because the team probably already has that mentality, but the fan base, for as much of a Super Bowl hangover as there is right now, there's still so many people that they don't know how we're going to repeat, or they don't know how we're going to beat this team, or we're not sure how we're going to beat that team, or whatever. Like, this is not Andy Reid's Eagles or Chip Kelly's Eagles where you have to wonder, do we have the horses to do this, or how are we going to beat this team, or how are we going to defense this, or no. The mentality has to be like, you almost have to become Patriots fans. You have to walk around like your cojones are so big that you have a hard time putting your goddamn pants on.
Mike, you have superstar. You have the guy that you need to win championships in this league. It's a quarterback league, babe. It's a quarterback driven league. And Nick, played like we thought he would play.
Right.
He'd be good. He'd be real good in times.
Yeah, but Ginger Jesus is a number 2 overall draft pick. I mean, come on.
He plays. And listen, you have a great backup, but I'm not going to walk around scared of injury or scared of anything. I'm going to walk around like I'm the big boy on the block. I'm the bully, and we're going to beat your ass. Because them defenses that we play, I don't know, newsflash, they got to play this defense. And if you haven't looked, they can go get you a little bit. And they got guys coming back that make him even better. So, I'm not scared of nobody. And, when we were crushing teams last year, that fear should have went out of people real quick, that this team's special, and then they went and won it with a bunch of backups in major, major positions. This wasn't just Nick Foles as the only guy back coming in as a backup. This was, we talked about, captains of your football team, captain of your special teams, captain of your defense, well, at least signal caller, okay? Captain, one of your captains offensively, and a Hall of Fame left tackle. See, the list goes on.
I point to 2 things last year. Going into last year, you could make an argument that the best defense in the NFC was the Minnesota Vikings and the best defense in the AFC was the Denver Broncos. The Birds played both of them last year, and I'm pretty sure that they won both games by like a combined 50 points. So not really sweating any other team stopping us.
I know Kyle's worried that he just wants them to sit 4 games and have more time, and I understand the concern. I understand the concern, okay? But what I'm trying to say to you is that you think these guys are going to be idiots with him? It's just not. They're not. They're not going to rush him out there. They haven't yet. They've done everything as the medical staff and his injury has progressed to let him do. He's not playing right now in a game. So let's just let that process play itself out. They're not going to rush him back. They're not fucking idiots. If we haven't learned anything, we're Super Bowl champions because they're not fucking idiots. For once, we're not fucking idiots. We got to trust that.
Some teams are better than others, but, I mean, you see what professional training, NFL training staffs do, i.e. Andrew Luck. Did they rush him back? No, he sat out all last year.
Well, they were so bad he went overseas and got it done. These players know their injuries too, and they know something's not getting right.
I'm sorry.
He said, Irsay's popping pills and drinking. I can't work with this thing.
I'm still cracking up over here. Doug Peterson, head coach, and not a fucking idiot.
Not a fucking idiot.
Not a fucking
That
idiot.
should be a T-shirt. Doug Peterson, head coach.
I'm not a fucking idiot.
I'm not a fucking idiot.
So, do you have a concern about any positions, depth? Do you think there's anything up for grabs?
I wouldn't say up for grabs. More so, I would say my biggest concern is linebacker and just your depth there.
Okay, I got no issue with that.
There's a guy Navarro Bowman out there that I would love to just make a phone call to.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about safety. I think.
Not deep there, yeah.
Yeah, Rodney and Malcolm are good, but there's not a lot of depth behind them. And I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Malcolm's got to take the politics out of his game a little bit, and Rodney needs to step it up a little bit because.
Well, don't be surprised if you see a guy like Jalen or some other guys
slide back a little bit.
Well, just see him get some work,
right?
In training camp here, just at that position a little bit more than you would usually,
right?
Just because you're deep at corner and maybe you move some of them guys around in training camp, let them get their beak wet being back there if in case it happened where I got to slide Sidney in, Jalen, whatever, whoever, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and you think you got to be creative with that,
right? Because
you are deep at corner. That's one of your positions that you can say you're really deep at. Linebacker, there's guys brought in. I get it. People like some of these guys brought in. But none of them were starters or legit contributors where they were before. So let's not crown guys because a guy writes an article blowing a dude, right? Yeah. I mean, or a team's like, man, we really didn't want to lose him. Well, you didn't sign him.
Right.
So you let him go. But a guy like Navarro Bowman's out there. Yeah. I would just
go kick the tires.
Yeah, why not? He doesn't have to come in and start, but it's a nice guy to have around.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. It makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with Jordan.
No question.
But that's my only. What's yours?
I mean, for me, it's
safety, right?
Yeah, it's safety. It's a secondary. Because here's my thing. I love.
You just said what his is. I asked him again.
But it's fine because I
can't lay.
No, because I want to come back to that for a second because with Malcolm, I think Malcolm played real well last year.
Yeah.
But I don't want the stuff that happened off the field during the off season to be a distraction. And he did a real good job of not letting it be a distraction last year, but that was before they won the Super Bowl, before he became a lightning rod for a lot of the political commentary that goes on in the NFL. And for me, with Malcolm needs to draw that line and say, what happens off the field happens off the field. This is what I'm doing on the field. Now, Rodney, and, we've talked about this in the past, Rodney, when he came over from the Rams, he was a big hitter and was great in coverage and was like the blossoming young, shades of Brian Dawkins type of player. He's been solid, but I haven't seen shades of Dawkins since he's been here. I think he's just been a real good, solid free safety.
He's getting paid to be one.
Yeah, he's getting paid to be the next Dawkins. So I need him to step it up, and I'm just hopeful that this isn't, that we haven't seen the best of Rodney McLeod.
Dean said you got to remember, too, that Jalen played safety at LSU a little bit.
He did.
So that matters.
But here's the thing. We tried this a couple years ago, toggling Jalen Watkins back and forth between safety and corner, and it didn't go so well. So Jalen, it's like if they want him to play safety, have him play safety. If they want him to play corner, have him play corner. it's tough to move a guy around in game.
Oh, I wouldn't move him around in game. My thing is if a guy went down, you have an option.
You could slide him
because
back.
he played a little bit in training camp, worked back there. That's all I'm doing it for. He's my starting corner. He ain't sliding over to my third nickel guy. You know what I mean? To me, somebody's got to come in and take Jalen's spot. And I think that's going to be really hard to do for guys. You got a better chance of Sidney taking Rodney's. Not Rod.
Ronald
Darby.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a better chance of Sidney taking Darby's than you do of him taking Jalen. Because Jalen's a worker. And them guys, sometimes they're hard to take spots from. They really are.
See, for me, I understand that, A, he makes a lot of money, and B, you gave up Jordan Matthews to get him. But where is it etched in stone that Ronald Darby has to be an outside corner? Because to me, when I look at it, I actually think your best corner tandem is Sidney and Jalen on the outside with Darby in the slot.
I wouldn't mind Darby in the slot either. I wouldn't mind it. And
I mean,
coming off his injury, I wouldn't recommend Sidney being in there. A lot more quickness. Got to see how he comes back from that. But there's options, Mug.
Yeah. No, they do. And to me, Robbie, we talked about this last year, and I think you floated a stat out there, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, but it was something like teams have 3 corners on the field, I think it was 65 or 70% of the time now with spread offenses with 3 wide or tight end split off the.
You'd have to think at the very least. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to what we said, but no, I mean, in this day and age, absolutely.
So to me, it's why do guys get bent on, I'm not a starting corner on the outside when you're on the field 70% of the time anyway, whether you're outside or in the slot.
It's such an issue when you're making your picks between receivers and DFS or whatnot. So you're going to see who's playing the slot, who's playing the corner. So if it's that much of a concern to think about, it's got to be 75% of the time. That would be my guess.
Yeah, and I know, and I know guys in the league, slot corners don't get paid. Slot receivers don't get paid. That's changing pretty damn quickly.
Yeah, Larry Fitz changed that.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I'd go with that scenario, Tom. I mean, for me, it's would I like to have more depth at safety? Yes. Would I really like to be locked into a strong third running back so that Sproles really only has to play passing downs and punt returns? I really don't want Sproles getting a ton of carries out of the backfield.
No, I don't think you'll see him getting a ton.
And I know that Doug does tend to fall in love with that, especially if he, pops a couple through there and breaks them off, and then all of a sudden you're getting Sproles 12, 15 carries in a game when he really has no right doing that. But, I mean, there's not a lot of holes. I think you hit it with linebacker, and for me, it's depth moves.
That's all it is now.
And
I good spot.
I love the Kamar Aiken signing today. And you're going into a season with Kamar Aiken as your number 5. You got some goddamn good wide receivers.
Yeah, Kamar Aiken, he's a professional. I mean, with Sproles, you just hit him in the flat all day when he's on the field, or if you want to, full defenses, not be predictable, maybe you run a little reverse or a little bit of option to him or whatnot. Get him out in space to where he's not looking to bang through the hole between the tackles. Yeah. Get him on the outside and, in a sense, let him do that special teams type activity, but on the offense.
Well, one of the great things about him, too, though, is at 5'5",
5 to 8 touches a game.
Yeah, 5'5", 5'6", he might be the best pass-blocking running back that they have. So I have no problem with him being on the field.
Yeah, he doesn't need 14, 15
touches. But he doesn't need that many touches.
Like I said, 5 to 8 touches a game.
And
tops. 8 tops, where you're really getting it done. You know what I mean?
And I think there were some games in,
We're just so dynamic, brother.
Yeah.
Aren't we? I mean, we're talking about our third running back.
Yeah.
Who is a playmaker.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, and I think a lot of people, because, he went down in Game 3 last year. So, I think a lot of people, Game 4. Because, I think a lot of people just really thought that was, that was going to be it for, the return game, so, a big portion of the running game. But, go back to Doug's first year. We saw some games where he got what I would call Sproles happy. He had the home game against Pittsburgh in Week 3 where he wound up blowing out the Steelers. You had the Sunday night game in Dallas where you wound up blowing the 10-point lead late and lost in overtime. But games where Sproles was getting 15, 18, 20 touches, and you don't need to do that now. You didn't even need to do that then, but you really don't need to do it now.
I think it's changed from then, too, in terms of your running back core as well. It's a big-time difference.
Picking up Ajayi helps.
And Corey coming out,
true.
like he did. You know, you weren't expecting that.
Some people on the tube saying, don't forget about Matt Jones. And I mean, your fourth running back spot is going to come down to it's either going to be Matt Jones or Wendell Smallwood. And they're probably never going to dress. So,
Matt Jones is garbage.
I know there were some people on the fix that were talking, Josh Adams. And I kind of floated out there. I said, look,
squad.
I may or may not have a little inside info because he's a Bucks County boy, but stress fractures in both feet, chronic issues. I think they're going to do with him this year what they did with Pumphrey last year.
Oh, absolutely.
And he will, he'll go IR. They'll stash him for a year, let him get healthy, and then come back next year and see what they have.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Well, we were talking about Sidney. Sidney's the top 10 talent, top 10 pick if he doesn't get hurt at Washington. Right. And with the Achilles, he had his good time off. Now, I would expect him next year to even be better. But as the season goes on, I expect him to get better. So, I mean, don't, panic if you don't see what you saw in Washington right away because they'll be there. It'll get back. That Achilles will continue to get stronger.
Takes one full year to recover from the Achilles.
From the Achilles. Remember DeMeco Ryans came in. He was a Pro Bowler. He was a stud. Came in the year after the Achilles, and he just wasn't the same guy. And then the next year after that, he's back in the Pro Bowl.
Back in the Pro Bowl,
So just give that a minute to get going. But let's finish with a little memories. We'll go back. And Ralphie says no cake for a birthday. And, things happen.
Do we
Ralph.
need cake?
We were rushing.
I dropped the ball.
We got candy.
That's a producer's job.
We got candy.
I think cake falls under producer's job.
No, it falls into the guys who were in here before us. Ralph. Who's looking at you?
Yeah, man.
Who's looking at you, Daddy?
Where's the big bag of Sour Patch Kids? That would have sufficed.
Oh, I ate them all things.
Oh, they're gone?
Jesus Christ.
Over time. Yeah. It was a week.
A couple shows.
A couple handfuls here and there. I might have put them bedside one night and was like, it was a problem. And I'm like, why the fuck did he eat these? I'm like, I'm going to wake up with diabetes. I'm going to get the insulin out now.
Diabetes.
So the memories, huh? I think that the first show, the very first show, when we basically called 70% of the Cole Hamels trade correctly, the Larry Gaines Classic that you referenced earlier.
It was a great one.
Being outside on a Saturday afternoon, deep in the heart of Camden.
Oh, great time. Seeing fucking guys fucking slam over dudes. Loved it.
Robbie, you heard that story, right?
Oh, of course.
We're literally in mid-sentence on the air, and a guy goes up and throws down over two others, and Tom and I were both just like, oh!
It was a little way louder than that, too, if it wasn't late. You know which one I love, in a way, just because just to add on to a couple? The loss after Seattle last year with the four of us. And we all sat here and we talked about, if you think it's going to be an easy ride to Broad or if there's not going to be hiccups, you're crazy.
Right.
That's how you end the curse. And we talked about, this is how it ends. And then even more so the week following after the Carson injury,
right,
we really touched on it where we had some time to process it since we were on Wednesday. And we sat here and we're like, you know what? Although, man, besides Greg because he doesn't like Doug, but although, man, that, watch this team go win a Super Bowl. Like, watch us how it all ends. Like, Dave Roberts taking second. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, in a game, it didn't – it just changed the whole series. Just like, we were talking about, it always happens in weird ways. Like, when you end up winning the whole thing. When you've had a huge drought.
No, it was wild.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. And it went that way. And I think that's just a great memory of a great show that night from the whole fucking fam here. Yeah. And guess what? The credit to the family out there because they were right on board with it, most of them. Mm-hmm. That's why we're the smartest fam around.
But I loved, I loved Mark Eckel.
Echo was a great
I
one.
love Tehran. I love the night we had Singer in. Singer was awesome.
Singer was a great night. We'll get Sing in again in the offseason.
We have to.
Absolutely. You know, he's up at Double A now.
Yeah, Sing's got to be like a guy that literally every January we need to get Sing in for like an hour.
He struck out Vladdy Jr. last night.
Ooh.
95 Heat.
Nice.
So we'll get Sing back in here.
Sing was good.
Remember the other guy, the Detroit Free Press, before we played the Lions 2 years ago?
Yeah, I do.
That was a great call because he was doom and gloom on the Lions, and
then
they ended up making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how that shit works? He wasn't wrong.
No.
But
Let me give a little shout out for Jeff Singer's Twitter at Gunsinger12. Follow him now.
Nice.
Gunslinger.
Cracked me up because he posted some pictures today. He got a haircut and he looks like he's 12.
Yeah, he does. He does.
That's funny.
Yep, and
That's
he'll
all
shove it
that's
right up
it.
your ass, too. The Heat. Shove it right up.
I got one that I'll toot my own horn on.
I know where you're going with this. I think because it's my favorite.
Which one?
It was my favorite to produce, at least, when we did the
Rajai Davis?
Yeah, I was just about
There
to
we
say
go.
Cleveland-Chicago World
Cleveland,
Series.
Chicago World
That was a
Series
great
live
time.
reaction.
Live reaction.
Call the Rajai Davis home run.
That was great.
Nailed it.
And we were there for the Curse ending.
We were there for
Another
the curse.
Curse ending. We were there. Deem says gonna wake up with a foot missing. He goes, last week, Tom going off last week. I guess that's his going off on Greg. That was a great.
That's kind of a regular occurrence.
Yeah, it is a regular.
He
occurrence.
must not have watched last year when he was trashing Doug. Greg was. That this guy must have not been watching when Greg was trashing Doug and how much you went off on him. Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I love?
And I loved it. I love Greg for doing it too.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
Somebody has to. Shit.
I love when you get fired up over something, and regardless of how long it takes you to make your point, whether it's a minute, 2 minutes, or 5 minutes, every now and then you just get so fired up that you make your point and you sit there and there's silence for like 5 seconds, and then you just go, "Damn it!" It's like classic Arnaud.
Yeah.
I'm just like waiting for it. Like where's the damn it? It's
The
gotta come.
pause and the damn it.
Such
Yeah.
a theatrical.
Damn
pause.
it!
I
Like
love it.
I mean, you guys just sit around and you crush this guy all the time. It's freaking unbelievable. Damn it!
Yeah.
It's unbelievable with you guys.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's
Better.
It's perfect.
Better than the thing. I remember. Yeah, but like
I'll tell you what though, like adding Greg to the lineup has been great because, admittedly, you and I do tend to agree more than we disagree.
yeah, we do.
And having Greg be the foil, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Because we're smarter thinkers than he is. So of course,
Well, he's a smart guy. He just
I love
thinks
it.
a little.
If you think I'm not going to take a shot at him every chance I
You
get, 'cause I
can.
love him. Well, he's smart as shit. But that's why he can do it.
I just love.
You know what I mean? Like if he wasn't smart,
Right.
it wouldn't work.
I just love when you go off on a little rant or something, and you're like, can I just say? And like the one time I looked at you, and I'm like, you can, but you'd be wrong, and you're just like, did you disagree with me?
You know what my favorite memory is?
What's that?
The day I met you up at the school.
Oh,
And like
2 minutes.
it was like it wasn't even. I don't know if we even made 2 minutes before we were like, yeah, we're good.
We're good.
We talked on Facebook
Well,
before, and we're
well,
like, man, I'm like, everything this guy posted, like, that's the point. Like,
We'll be on Monday night.
he was posting Philly stuff before it all happened, right? Before it all happened, and when we became friends on Facebook or whatever, and I'm like, reading everything he's saying, I'm like, damn, I agree with everything this fucking guy's saying. And then the conversation created and went from there. And I just remember meeting him at the studio, and after, like, getting to know, like, the things he says sports-wise, being like, yeah, I'm on board with this guy. And being one of the fixtures here for a long goddamn time, that's a memory to me. Like where it all started. And then we were like inviting Facebook friends and shit. Like fucking Facebook friends.
The bromance began.
It did. But it
Yes.
began before like even a show happened.
There
which
was
is funny.
Robbie. There was a bet on night one because we met up at CSB, and honestly, Tom. No exaggeration when Tom says like 5 minutes. Like Tom's just like, oh yeah, you're in and you're working with me and it was just done right there. But we made a bet that first night, and I said that I could get A2D to increase their likes by 100 within 24 hours. And it was just literally like, hey, you buy me a beer. First night I come in to do the show, he's like, yeah, go get yourself a beer out of the fridge. It's like it was just done, like boom.
Well, your social media
From all the social
circle
contacts,
is legendary.
But it was like
Legendary.
Dairy.
Yeah.
It was like literally
Wait
just
for it.
like from night one, it was like, okay, we're in.
Yep.
Deem said I need a wrestling manager gig. I'll be like fucking Don King. So I used to Eskimos. Ryan says the Ben Simmons Kendall talk we all had last month was
Oh
epic
my God,
as
we
well.
were crying.
Nestle.
Yeah. Little Nestle.
Little Nestle.
Crying.
Dean said, I love the arguments. I've never been to Philly, but I feel that ATD represents it. Fucking absolutely we do. Absolutely. For the fan, by the fan. No all freaking NBC Sports authentic fan bullshit. You don't need a T-shirt that freaking, act like you're an authentic fan. That's like so weak out of them.
What's funny, though, is like how the times have changed. Like those first couple months, it was literally like laptops lined up across the table. And now all of a sudden we're like hashtag no notes.
Yeah. You know what? It's fucking been a long journey, brother. It's been a long journey. It's crazy that's 3 years because it was just like 2 years a minute ago. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we just had this show. I'm like, wait, it's 3-year anniversary again? Like that went quick, but it just shows you, man. I mean, AM and the PM, I would say, how many shows did we have when AM and the PM came in? I know we have Agree Disagree and Hockey Happy Hour, but what else did we have?
Fix.
Was the Fix already here? I'm trying to remember
Well, it was an early iteration of the
Yeah,
Fix
they had to be. They were right there.
with Ryan, Jay, and
Jabron.
yeah, somebody else. Yeah.
Ryan, Jabron, and Jabron.
Jabron.
It was Ryan Brodo and Jabron. It's a great list. Great group.
LLC.
Ryan, that's how Ryan had to come into the fucking fire. That was tough.
But I'll tell
tough sledding.
I'll tell you what though, the round table the day before the Super Bowl
Was phenomenal.
was outstanding.
One of the most fun I had with you guys.
That was a
the
great
whole
show.
time. We'll do more of them kinds of things too for everybody because we get all the A2D fam here in one spot and we muck it up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's great.
And
you have your favorite guys if you have a favorite guy.
The night out for Chrome's birthday was pretty phenomenal too.
That's another one.
That's the weird thing is it
The DR 2018
Yeah.
A2D DR 2018
For his tight-
Dominican trip.
Lock it up.
yeah, but like for as tight of a group as we are, we don't ever go out. And then like
I
the
know.
one time we go out and it's like
The greatest night
it's
ever.
like a great night. Yeah.
We got photos getting dropped, naked women in the group because they're losing bets. It was classic night. Imagine the DR. What the DR's going to be? The DR's going to be a fucking problem. You got the Canadian coming. You got Parker coming. You got a lot of people coming.
You know what?
You know how great this family is?
I bet you 5-1 Wilder can't get out of Canada.
They probably can't. But you know what's funny about Parker is I stopped by.
I got a guy.
I met Mike. You know what I mean? When I went to Georgia for Perfect Game for baseball, I drove right by Salisbury, stopped over, met Parker face to face, and he's actually from the Blackwood area growing up. But it was like a brother. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, I feel like I've known you my whole life anyway. The way we've been talking about that's outside of even the shows how deep the family goes. This family's deep. It's a real big Italian family right now. I mean, the dinner table's going to get bigger and bigger. And these guys, we talk about James and Parker. They go live to the Real Talk all the time and have a blast with it to our Real Talk group on Facebook. But, these guys just found A2D and just became part of the family like that.
Yeah.
Because we're a great fucking group. It's
We
fun
are.
time, dude. It's fun time. So we were the fourth show in then. Had to be like the fourth because there was other ones, but they're not here, so they don't count.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we had an A2D warm-up show with Mr. Eaton and Mr. Matt Mattrell. That was fun. There was like politics and sports combined. It was a problem. It was a problem. And there are a lot of different things, show-wise.
I could say that we're the only show that has had a sponsor from day one that stayed with us the entire time. Gibson Mayer, Jim Gibson, hooking it up.
Gibson, great guy.
Basically from the beginning, yeah.
That's why you go do your taxes there. I mean, that's simple. And think about it. Think about all the shows and the people that have been here, from jump. I think that says a lot about what we're trying to build here to the family out there. You know what I mean? It's not a turnover.
Well, Pove, you've been with us for, like 2 years now?
Since the beginning, brother.
Yep. It was
No, I mean, just specifically with us, because
with
I know.
the show. Oh, yeah,
Because I know we had Maddie for a little while, and then
yeah.
Yeah,
We
probably
did.
about maybe
about
two.
two. I'm thinking you're
at least two.
at least two, if not a little more.
Oh,
At
wow.
least I think at least two. And what's funny is like me and Maddie were day one.
Yeah.
Me and Maddie was living here, like Greg does, and we were just fucking working, dude. We were just getting the technical shit right to be able to stream. I mean, if you know what I went through some nights, just figuring the process, man, that's what you look back to and it's fun. You know what I mean? You're like, man, them grinding fucking nights where it was like 10 hours and you still didn't get it right. And you got to restart again the next day. You know what I mean? And you still don't get it right.
Or before we took live comments on the air, when we just did our material for like an hour to an hour and a half, and we would tape it at 6 o'clock, and we'd tape from like 6 to 7:30, and then we'd run it at 8 o'clock and be like, live at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, I'm like on the way home, like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Listening to the show? It's pretty good, huh?
And I remember where we started in the basement.
Yep.
Basement of the house. And we went to Burlington, and then the move was stupid because then we couldn't stream live anymore. To Mike's point,
That was tough.
Then we came back and got back to the home base.
That's another favorite moment of mine.
Oh, the Baltimore Colding, the Baltimore Colding on a Wednesday night. Give me some.
Yeah.
We're like, I'm like, I call everybody. I call Het. I call everybody with like a big car.
Let's
Going to
go.
meet everybody here. We freaking listen. The Jabron wouldn't upgrade his internet. Okay, would not upgrade his internet. And all this bullshit, even though I offered to pay for it, okay? Wouldn't upgrade it. Well, we had a 5/5, fam. Everybody has any clue. 5/5 ain't going to get nothing done. You can't even do a Google Hangout on 5/5. So what we did is, hey, you know what? This last month, we ain't giving it that to you. You didn't live up to your end of the bargain.
Baltimore Colts.
Baltimore Cold.
Clear it out in the
12
middle of the
o'clock
night.
at night, we're freaking packing trucks up, and we're out. And all that's left in the studio is a key.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic one, Robbie. That actually is one of my favorite memories of AM and PM. I love it. That's what we got to talk about. You forget about all this shit that we've done.
That was after a show?
That was after AM and PM on a Wednesday night.
That's right. This is correct.
Which, by the way, was also the trigger for us getting rid of Phil, because Phil would go to Burlington, but he won't come here.
Oh, yeah. We couldn't have him here. Oh. TTB said this show is something special and give us the outlet to have our opinions heard. Absolutely, dude. That's what we're here to freaking do. You know what I mean? We're here for you guys. Like, read off. You go to, like we said, about Parker and James, and now they just became part of the family, and all you guys, TTP, you're part of the fam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deems, you've been here for fucking ever. You both have. I don't know me of everything who that is, but I think he's been here a while too. Most of this chat is. Most of you guys just keep coming back, and guess what? We're going to keep reading your shit.
And it's great when when somebody leaves a comment and it's a name that you haven't heard for a while, and they're back, which is nice.
I get excited when I see the names, like when I see Deems in here and TTP, and they come rolling in. You get jazzed up, and then we've had everything, in a lot. Obviously, Kyle's been in on, the Nitro.
Stuff, yeah.
The Freak's been over here. Him and Ryan are talking. It's going to be Wild West again when the Eagles season starts. It absolutely is.
What you got, Pope?
That's when things get exciting. That's when things get wound up around here.
I can't believe you brought up Phil. That's freaking awesome, man, because you know what?
That guy is a goddamn problem.
Yes, he was. I'll tell you what, though. I mean,
he was great. He just didn't shut the fuck up.
It was great.
I talk a lot.
First night we have him on the show, and he's phenomenal. It's like, why the hell did 97.5 ever get rid of this guy? And then by week 3, we're like, yo, the show is called Tom and Mike, not Tom, Mike, and Phil. Know your role. Shut your mouth.
Kyle, babe, it's 2018. We don't need cable. We got internet in the studio. You can watch any college game you want. It's simple. You can watch any college game you want.
Shout out Stream Smart Vinny.
Not even that. We're streaming. Shout out to Vinny too. Right on the Mac.
There we go.
All you needed to do was pull up the ESPN and go, and they can play in every college game. ABC, any college game you want, you can put on
the app and
Boom.
bounce.
Now we are going to add 2 more monitors up there on the wall, with one with a cable box. Me and Greg were talking about this. One with a cable box, and then one with the monitor of the show, so people can see themselves. You know what I mean? So you'll have both.
That's
done
nice.
and done. We know, babe. Kyle, listen, babe. Daddy knows what he's doing over here. Daddy didn't just start this gig. You know what I mean? Daddy didn't come up with this idea yesterday.
Nah.
Trust the process. You know what I mean? I know you do.
But we need to take calls.
Yeah. He'll tell me to go. He'll tell me fuck me again. Fuck me. And then I'll be fucking.
World,
then I'll be driving to his fucking house.
I mean, you don't even have to call. You comment. How much easier is it to comment with your thoughts and your questions and your interactions? It's a digital age now.
Dude, if you get a jackass call, it ruins your show. It ruins your fucking
Absolutely.
show. Why do you think the dial sucks? Dial sucks because moron callers call up and ruin the conversation. I don't got no time for that. Now, if you want to have one of your boys call in, have them call in. Go ahead. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't suggest having open lines is my point. Don't open your lines up. You want to have 1 or 2 of your boys call in? Absolutely. But I wouldn't open the lines up because now you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, because we want Robbie screening calls for the entire show. Right.
Ryan says he can't believe there's already been 4 years since he's joined. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's nuts.
What is the
Imagine another 4.
What is the actual birth date of A2D or an approximation? And when did you start this whole deal?
I started it when I was interning for 97.3 ESPN. I started it like right around or before that time.
Was it early summer 14?
I interned in the spring.
Oh, that's right, it was spring. Right?
But I think we got it like really rolling.
Right.
In that summer.
Right.
Like you're talking about that July period.
Right.
Is when we got it like rolling with shows. But I was doing an agree to disagree before I was there.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And the idea was before it was there. Now, I'd say like LLC-wise, probably that summer.
So
when like it probably got official. I don't remember exactly when it got official, but it was from that spring summer when I was at 97.3. So
when we linked up in July of 15, you were just like a year old at that point.
yeah, I was about probably 6 months. We were probably 6 months to a year before Ryan came in easily. So almost.
So Ryan was in 6 months in, and then I followed, and
I would say about 5 years. We're
Yeah.
about 5. Yeah, at this point, we're about 5 years. This summer, absolutely, we're 5 years in. But the real, I always look at it like when we got in the social media game, and you know,
and it blew up.
yeah, like so. I really look at it's been about a 2.5-year process. Remember the meeting in Burlington when the whole like structure changed and everything changed,
Right.
around then, which was about 2.5 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when it
And
all.
this is us moving the fourth wall for you guys.
Yeah,
by the way.
and that's when it all like shifted, and
Deadpool.
it really like the social side shifted when Chris became a partner with me and taught me and helped teach Rye, you know, how to do some of these things and get the ball rolling, and then we just took it from there. And
The guy behind the guy.
yeah, the guy on the guy, and now it just grows. As I said, like, you know, you got Facebook over 28,000. By the time football season's over, that'll be at 50, 60, maybe even 100,000. You can book it.
And the
book
celebration
it.
is in the DR, baby.
And it is. Think about it. A2DR 2018, 100 grand.
Make
Let's
the shirts
fucking
now. Let's
go.
go.
Let's
You know what we
fucking go.
We need
Fam, we're going May 20th next year. Anybody who wants to meet up in Dominican. Be Live Collection.
somebody to sponsor the trip to the DR, so none of it comes out of our pockets.
Oh, my God. Imagine that. Oh.
Giddy up.
Giddy up, because I'm going to be a fucking issue because I drink tons of chick drinks. Pinky out. Fucking.
Class.
I want shit frozen, cold. Let's eat. That's how I want it. That's how I want it.
Hold on. Tom in the DR. Yo, turn off the camera. Don't tell Mike I said this, but ... You are a problem in the DR.
Yeah, teams. I was at 97.3 South Jersey. Yep, I was down there for about 6 months. I know Robbie was with me for about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I was doing.
We overlapped a little bit.
We did. I was doing some producing work at the end, and I was helping with the high school football. That's really what my main thing was.
Yeah.
Was on Friday nights helping with the high school football coverage because I knew how to stream live. They didn't know how to. I became a little bit of a baby asset.
Yeah.
Me of Everything says he's been here since 2015.
Nice.
Oh.
Changing names and such, I take it.
Mike Parker says 2019 fam. I don't know what he means by 2019.
Parker Fuzzy Navels for The Godfather.
2019 celebration.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. Tell all your fucking fam over on the YouTube, boys. Everybody got out there. Let them know we're fucking running hot over here. Because we got a show Monday night. We got a show Tuesday night. We got 2 Wednesday. We got 2 Thursday. We got Saturday. We got Sunday. Boom. It's fucking big boy talk.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dream.
Fuck
Every day of the
Wildfire.
week, you know?
Yeah, fuck Wildfire. Fuck the Dial. Fuck Sirius. Fuck XM if it's even still around. All right?
They're one company now.
Right? I mean, in the words of Jason Kelsey, fuck them. Right? Fuck them. All right, boys.
Oh, my goodness.
I love you, brother. It's been a fucking great ride so far.
It has been a great ride.
Hey, cheers to another fucking 3. Cheers to another fucking. Nah, let's do that right then.
Bada bing.
Bada bing. Cheers
Not
to
a
another
sponsor.
Wawa Big Gulp or 7-Eleven Big Gulp, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Maybe soon. Maybe soon.
Royal Farms, also not a sponsor.
Nope. Ask Greg, though. He spends enough money for him to be a fucking sponsor. It's unbelievable. And me of everything says greatest radio ever. Love you, boys. And what else? Yeah, CSB fan, but fuck CSB Nitro. You know that, Kyle. We don't give them credit for shit.
Except for a match made in heaven.
Parker says tropical sunrise is frozen on the deck. Let's go! I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't even talk. He says ATDR 2019 blowing up. Love it. But guess what, Kyle? We ain't CSB fam. We're A2D fucking fam. All right, boys. Stay tuned tomorrow night. You got lazy booking.
I'll be here.
7:45 start.
I'll be doing
my
third show in 24 hours.
Goatage.
Because that's how I roll.
What time? 7:30?
7:30.
7:30. You never, Chromie likes to go 7:45 sometimes, so I never know.
It'd be me, Metal Matt,
Yep.
and Funky Frank.
The greatest hair in the business, Matt Sinsudi. Frank Vespi on your 1s and 2s tomorrow night. And following that,
I'll be laying the verbal smackdown on those two jabronis.
Obviously, besides the two shows I'm on, in my opinion, the greatest show around here, the Hockey Happy Hour, and the fucking best hairs in the business, Sinsudi, Daly, Quinky, and always got to give love to Rob because he was an original fucking OG
dude.
on the Hockey Happy Hour.
That's where I'm the guy behind the guy.
That's where you go to the guy. Listen, we love you, boys.
And Clinky may be the most handsome man on the station
He is.
now.
I mean, he's just delicious looking. He really fucking is. It's a problem. Dean says Sirius XM died when Anthony got fired. Yep, that's about right. And Nitro says, yup, amen.
There we go.
Look, they'll blow y'all kisses. Love y'all. Right, 4 fucking years. Enjoy your trip, Brodo.
Yeah.
Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
HD Radio. Brought to you by our certified public accountant.
Make them yours.
Find them on the web. GibsonMayer.com. That's GibsonMayer.com. For Tom or no.
Hold on.
Oh.
Mike Parker, what do I do with these hands? Parker, you got to get these hands.
I don't do them. Tom or no, Michael Mataraki, Robbie Pope, Greg Mowakovic, Danny McGuckin.
All the other jabrones that have sat in with us.
And you motherfuckers out there. The greatest fucking fam in the business. No notes. You know how we roll
Kisses.
it. We out. Because with no notes, let's be fucking real, okay? It's black screen.
It's a black screen.
Okay?
No
black
notes.
Screen. We out, fam.
Peace, y'all. Have a good one.